$574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate.
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
What's up, everybody? Adnan Burke here to tell you about a new podcast. It's NHL Unscripted with Burke and Demers.
Jason Demers here, and after playing 700 NHL games, I got a lot of dirty laundry to air out.
Each week we'll get together to chat about the sport that we love.
But we're not just going to be talking hockey, folks. We're talking movies, we're talking TV, food, and Adnan's favorite, wrestling. It's all on Le Table.
Listen to NHL Unscripted with Burke and Demers on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search NHL Unscripted with Burke and Demers and start listening.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Live from the Ingalls Studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dog see! Let him on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God. The Jets killed him.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to follow us on all the social medias at the Sportsocracy. Happy 2025.
Hey, it's a new year, and, well, Sam Darnold apparently didn't get the memo that 2024 Sammy D needed to be 2025 Sammy D.
You know, Sam, it's hard to go from, not good to great, right?
Well,
it's a process. So
I'm not going to lie.
There's some bumps in the road.
Last night I saw a lot of New York Jets Sam Darnold. Set, hut. Oh, shoot. Damn the devil, run! Where Justin Jefferson's got to be out there somewhere.
Really, that's the way you came away from that game.
I came away from that game going, the Detroit Lions are going to mush your face.
See, that was the right call. That was the right call.
I had two, which is the sheer fact that we had to play this game to determine who was the #1 seed in the NFC is comical to me because there is a big old dadgum difference between the two of you.
Detroit Lions 31-9, 4 touchdowns from Jahmyr Gibbs last night as the Detroit Lions got the #1 overall seed in the NFC playoffs.
Hey, you remember when we thought that was a weird pick for Detroit at 14? It wasn't weird.
We just thought it was too high.
It wasn't. It was not too high.
It was worth every bit of it.
And David Montgomery, I want to give you a debt of gratitude for getting hurt, so we could see just exactly how good Jahmyr Gibbs actually is. Oh, you mean if we give him the ball 23 times a game, he's gonna wind up in that painted area, 4 of them.
See, that's how I came away from the Detroit-Minnesota game last night. It wasn't necessarily, oh God, Minnesota's in trouble. It was, I think everybody's in trouble that's getting ready to play the Detroit Lions because I don't know that they're not #1 on my most likely to win it all list by a mile. I'm not
somehow
sure.
Detroit's defense is absolutely matered and got better. How did that – can somebody explain that? They put a Meek Robertson, who is 2 inches shorter than Tank, on Justin Jefferson – and Justin Jefferson forgot how to play football for 60 minutes. I mean, look, I understand all of you want to throw that out at Sam Darnold, and a few of those passes were a little bit high. They were still catchable.
Some of them.
Amik Robertson was completely in Justin Jefferson's head. That's impressive. He was a liability for the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Or, I mean, at least he wasn't last night. Maybe it was just one of those, he's playing the greatest game of his life, and you expect that consistently?
I expect Detroit to just next man up, figure it out.
Because
that's what they do.
Exactly. They've been doing it all season. As soon as Aiden Hutchinson went down, what was that, week 5? Week 6? Maybe it was later than that.
Later than that.
I lost a lot of weeks during this football season, so the timeline, not my sharpest, not my best tool right now. But the Detroit Lions showed last night they are the class of the NFC. There's only one other team that might give them a run, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles. That'll be a heck of – I feel like that'll be a heck of an NFC championship game.
I don't know. You got to go into Detroit and beat them. You got to go into that snake den that I saw last night.
Mm-hmm.
That was the loudest place on the planet Earth.
Yeah.
Even after Ziggy Wills spent $2 million of his own money to make sure there was some purple in that stadium. Did you notice the little decibel meter? They showed that. It was up on the video board.
Mm-hmm.
It was at $130 the entire game. Yeah, that's going to be hard for you to go into and win.
Before the game even started, as they were giving their picks on the NBC broadcast, Tony Dungy said, "This is the loudest stadium I've ever heard at this stage." Right? We're still 15, 20 minutes away from kickoff, and it's like overtime loud. The atmosphere is going to be crazy. I mean, Philadelphia.
I don't think anybody can go into Detroit and beat them. I don't. And I'm not even saying, they don't play well and your best game, I'm going the old Rex Ryan line. I don't care about your game.
Mm-hmm.
All we have to do is show up, do what we do. We're going to be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to mush some of your faces in an aggressive way. Because that's one of the best offenses I've ever seen, and it's not a sum of all parts. This is what coaching does. All right, this is Black Monday in the NFL. We've already had a handful of guys get got. Gerard Mayo, I'm not sure they even let him change clothes. I think he went back locker room and they just went, out!
Which is
out with you!
I feel like that's unfortunate.
I don't, but
we'll
talk about that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in the next hour.
All right.
When you have a team that's this well coached, all right, the Lion guys get to interview this week because they're on a bye.
Mm-hmm.
Have you noticed how many teams have already requested to interview Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn? Because Aaron Glenn's got 4, and Ben Johnson has all of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a happenstance.
No.
When you coach this well, it's not a sum of all parts. The Philadelphia Eagles have better running backs and better receivers and better offensive line and better everything than Detroit. But they have Nick Sirianni. And you want to know why I've been so confident in Detroit? Go look at what you saw last night. I'll bet you the average fan could not name me 4 players that played for that Detroit defense last night. Average lay fan that's listening to this show right now, I'll bet you could not name 4 guys. And if you could, you probably heard their name at some point last night.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Anzalone had a carbon fiber cast put on his arm, and he looked like the Winter Soldier. He led the Lions in tackles. He looked like Bucky Rogers. Yeah, it was his name. I Googled it. When I did this earlier, it was Bucky
Rogers.
Brooks.
It was Bucky Brooks.
No, Bucky Brooks is the NFL analyst for the NFL draft analyst for NFL.com.
Bucky Barnes.
Bucky Barnes.
That's what it was.
Who is Bucky Rogers?
You did Steve Rogers and Bucky Barnes.
Maybe I did.
And,
maybe I did.
Yeah, they were not
Bucky
brothers.
Yeah.
Look at you trying to do geek stuff.
Yeah, that was in the later iterations where they realized they were actually brothers. They changed his name.
That was another multiverse. They adopted him.
Yeah, that was his mom's maiden name. Anyway, he goes full Terminator with one arm and leads the Lions in tackles.
Yep.
Did you see his social media post, by the way?
No.
He posted a picture of the incision before he put the carbon fiber thing on, and he said, everybody wants to be a dog till you have to do dog stuff.
Yes.
And that's a man with a blonde mullet.
Mm-hmm.
That's a man I don't want to come across you in a dark alley because I'm not sure I like what you would do to me.
No, sir. And he's one of those guys that, I remember watching him, as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan playing for the New Orleans Saints, thinking, I don't want to run into that guy. I've always kind of liked him. Alex Anzalone.
Oh, he's a dog.
Always liked him. He is a Dan Campbell kind of guy, though. I mean, Dan Campbell finds his guys, puts them in the system. It's basically what Carolina fans hope Chapel Hill's going to turn into, right? Because Bill Belichick finds Bill Belichick guys, and you're hoping that that's what's going to happen in Carolina.
Yeah.
But this is happening in Detroit. He goes out, he finds his guys, he finds whatever fire that he can light underneath that guy who's been sitting on the couch for 6 months or just bouncing locker room, practice squad to practice squad, because he knows how to motivate.
Yeah, and Brad Holmes knows how to accumulate talent.
Mm-hmm. The Detroit Lions are the class of the NFC. And if last night was not enough to prove that to you, can't help you.
Now just realize that they get the lowest seed when we get to the next round.
Yes.
Do you know what that means?
What does that mean?
That means they're either going to get the flawed Tampa Bay Buccaneers, of which we're going to talk about your division at some point in this show. I believe it is high time.
They couldn't get us because we're the 3 seed.
They could get you.
We couldn't be the lowest seed.
Oh, you're
left.
right. You couldn't be. Oh, God, that's right.
Yeah, they'll get either the Rams or the Vikings, or if the Commanders upset us.
That's right, because Geno Smith had to go get his $2 million. That's right. So they'll either get the flawed L.A. Rams.
Yes.
The Commanders. Mm-hmm. That Vikings team from last night.
Or the Packers.
Which one of those teams do you really think is going to beat Detroit?
Not a one.
The other one gets fed to the wood chipper that is the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, we're on a collision course here, boys and girls. This is Philadelphia Eagles, Detroit Lions, 3 weeks from last night for a trip to the Super Bowl.
Could be. I'm holding out no hopes that there will be an upset here. There is going to be Detroit on one side and Philly on the other.
Yeah.
I don't see another team that can pull the upset, despite the fact that the 1 seed and the 2 seed both do have losses to the 3 seed. I'm not going there. It's all that it's all that the Buccaneers fans can talk about is the fact that we beat them both. We're the 3 seed. We beat both of them.
Yeah. You also needed a pretty good second half to beat the Spencer Rattler-led New Orleans Saints.
That you did.
There was a point yesterday that I was thinking about drafting a letter to Roger Goodell of, I think it's time to let the NFC South – the NFC South needs a break. They need to find themselves, maybe go on a spiritual conquest, because all of you suck something awful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's almost like a battle to which one of you sucks more. And I'm not sure that the right team actually got to the finish line.
No, I think they did.
I'm not so sure of that.
I think they did.
I'm not so sure of that.
It's been this way for 2 years.
I do find it funny that the worst team in your or in your division has the best defense, and it's not even kind of close. And then you have this weird amalgamation of Michael Penix and Baker Mayfield and Bryce Young going 5 tunners. That whole division's drunk.
To the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, we're just out here dropping dimes.
The Falcons came into the day with a chance to make the playoffs.
Oh, I mean, you know how that happened, though, right?
What do you mean?
We went to overtime. They flashed the score up on the scoreboard, and everybody in Atlanta went,
oh, sure.
Time to go home. I couldn't care less if we win this game or not.
No, they still tried after that.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
I watched every play of the overtime.
Yeah, they did.
No, they didn't. If they did, their trying is terrible.
That's kind of the point, is that Atlanta's bad, Carolina's bad, the New Orleans Saints are bad. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are still bad. They're just the best bad team in that conference.
They're the least bad.
That division.
They're the least bad of the baddest division in the history of bad. Yes. Congratulations. We have a slew of Super Chats that we need to get to before the first commercial break.
Mm-hmm. All right, Super Chat time. Sorry. We haven't done this in a while.
I was about to say, yeah, that is your role.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
We start with Red Sea, who said, "We back, baby." We are. It feels so good to be back. I've had so many opinions and things to give to the masses, and I've had no microphone to do it. And now, on the first day back, after being at the Peach Bowl, I have been, I've been exposed to some kind of super demon that is making me feel like just absolute garbage.
Yeah.
So if you see me drinking from this here NyQuil bottle, mind your business. It's what I need to feel like a person.
Uh-huh.
And that bottle was brand new this morning.
See, what you should have done was slept through the game. Then maybe it would have been, less.
Oh no, I went a completely different. I took a sizable swig of NyQuil in the second quarter. I'm not sure any of what I saw actually happened. There was a dragon at one point. Jahmyr Gibbs flew. It was a very productive way to watch a football game. He flew through the air. It's what happens when you're awake on hour 3 of a NyQuil binge. Don't do that, kids.
Yep.
It's not good.
Yep.
And
the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
from Sir Jimothy, he said he owes us lunch. Their quarterback was number 1 in passing touchdowns and passing yards. Their wide receiver won the Triple Crown for wide receivers, and their defensive end was the NFL sack leader, and they missed the playoffs. What exactly is wrong with the Cincinnati Bengals? Defense. You should hit that Sarah McLachlan button for Lou Anarumo because it's
about that time.
Oh no, it's already done.
Oh, they already made that call. Oh, T's and P's.
We're gonna miss you, Lou.
You remember that time we were talking about he was going to be the next big head coach?
You my boy, Lou.
That was only like 3 years ago.
That was 2 years ago.
There you go.
And life comes at you fast.
Yeah.
When your defense falls apart like an IKEA side table, it's weird how you just go, well, that was fun while it lasted.
But the sacks, well, it just goes to show you just because you can rush a quarterback doesn't necessarily mean that your defense is going to be good. Does it help? Sure. But when you have, I don't know, a colander that's been shot by a shotgun in the back half of your defense, doesn't matter. And in the end, that comes down to either two things. Either it's the coaching scheme is completely off for what you have, or you hadn't been able to do a good job in bringing in players. Lou, it was time.
For sure. Lou, it's time for you to go chase tennis balls in that sweet farm in the NFL coaching sky.
No. We have another super chat to get to?
We have a bunch, but we need to take a commercial break. We'll get to those on the front side of the next segment.
All right, you're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's a new year, and maybe it's been 6 months or more since your last dental appointment, or maybe you're just looking for the best dentist in Asheville. Well, at Asheville Smiles, Dr. Merrill and the team are dedicated to making 2025 your year to shine. Whether it is routine family care or the latest in cosmetic dentistry, they provide world-class dental care with a hometown heart. It's time to invest in your health and confidence because your smile deserves it. You can schedule your appointment today and learn more at AshevilleSmiles.com. Start the new year with a reason to smile. Again, it's AshevilleSmiles.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
When you get tired of freezing your can at the tailgate, maybe it's time to ring in a new season. Tailgating season. Wherever you are, whatever the forecast, with good old ale, it's the perfect way to kick off game day. From Red Cup Revelry to just kicking it solo, you can't go wrong with Dale's Pale Ale, Dale's Light Lager, and Dale's Easy IPA. Honest ingredients, no BS. Drink responsibly, and we'll see you at the Tailgate.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
It's time to discover the convenience and time savings of contact-free pickup with Ingles Curbside. Just visit shop.ingles-markets.com or download the app. And your Ingles personal shopper gets to work with specialized training on how to select the freshest items for a pre-scheduled pickup. They'll even text you with updates. You pull up to a designated space and your personal shopper delivers your items right to your vehicle. Fresh, fast, and affordable. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumber than a bag of hammers.
And welcome back into another wonderful Overreaction Monday here in the Sportsocracy. After Week 18, the NFL regular season has come to a close. The playoffs are all set. And it looks very chalky to me. Like, if I look at the bracket, I feel like this is going to be a very chalky road to the Super Bowl. There's going to be some interest in the AFC because I'm the least confident I've ever been about the Chiefs, and probably the most confident I've ever been about the Ravens and the Bills. Would you agree with that? Because I feel like
I agree with you on the Bills.
You don't agree about the Ravens.
How many times do you have to watch the Ravens do this before you go, I'm going to need you to prove to me it's not going to happen that way?
Sure.
I mean, do I worry about Pittsburgh? I'll be honest with you. Baltimore should have been praying for anybody but Pittsburgh. Because I think they would have absolutely crushed the Chargers. I think they would have crushed the Broncos. I don't think they're going to crush the Steelers, and it has absolutely nothing to do with Pittsburgh. That team's not good.
The Ravens?
Pittsburgh.
Oh, Pittsburgh.
But that's the one matchup that I give you you got a chance.
Well, sure, because the division, the divisional rival matters.
Oh, yeah, and I can't wait for I didn't know these people still existed, but I posted something on our social media a couple days ago that just escalated quickly. After about 1,000 comments, I was shocked how many people were going, it's not Russell Wilson's fault. Yeah, it is. it is. Oh, but it is. It didn't help that George Pickens couldn't catch, but it also didn't help that Russell Wilson apparently added himself to a long list of people that doesn't understand how a clock works. Mm-hmm. They never go the other way. This is the easiest way to understand clocks. They'll always count down at the same speed that they have always counted down.
Yes.
So if you in bounds, clock's going to keep ticking. That's how that works.
Crazy things happen in these AFC North division games. Would I be shocked? No. But when I say I have the most confidence that I've had in a long time in Baltimore, it's because they've got to go.
This
Lamar
is the best team they've had.
Like all of a sudden, it became, wait a minute, maybe Josh Allen shouldn't be the MVP.
No, he should be.
That was a lot of the talk over the last couple of weeks because of how well Lamar Jackson is playing. I understand.
You want me to shut that boo-boo down real quick? The Buffalo Bills without Josh Allen lost to the New England Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
And trust me, without Josh Allen, that team wins 3 games at best. Without Lamar Jackson, that's still probably a playoff team in Baltimore.
Really?
Do you know who the first team out in the AFC was? It was the Miami Dolphins.
Right.
Yeah, they're better than that. If it was Derrick Henry and a mannequin with meat hanging off of it that could hand the ball to Derrick Henry, okay, I'll take that over the Miami Dolphins, and I wouldn't think about it twice.
I understand why the discussion came back up. I'm still on the Josh. I mean, I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just the fact that even became a discussion is because how well Lamar Jackson is playing. Over 4,000 yards, 800 yards rushing.
No doubt.
All
and
of the
he
touchdowns.
should be a great second-place finisher in the MVP balloting to the ultimate winner, which is Josh Nathaniel Allen III.
It's closer than we ever thought it would be.
Not for me.
What do you mean?
Not for me. It's
still Josh Allen by
Jeremy,
a mile?
Hey, Jeremy, you have an MVP vote. Cool. Josh Allen won. You fill out the rest. I don't really give a damn who you put in those other 2 spots. I really could care less.
Wow.
You want to put Sam Darnold in there? More power to you. I don't. You put Cade York in there for all I care. Doesn't mean squat to me.
Okay.
Because I watched Buffalo yesterday and went, oh, good Lord, this team is terrible. That was the only player that didn't play. And the defensive line guys.
Mm-hmm.
They don't play on offense, and that offense was painful on my eyeballs.
Well, of course it was. It was led by Mitchell Trubisky.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you realize that James Cook is clearly the best offensive weapon they have, and the 2 is probably Khalil Shakir.
Yes.
Yeah, that ain't winning a whole lot of games without Josh Allen. With him, they're the 2 seed in the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
MVP.
Mm-hmm. But I really don't have faith in anybody outside of that. So
I have
I'm
no
not,
faith in anybody in the AFC.
I see nothing coming out of the lower seeds in either bracket. Like the Chargers could upset the Chiefs, or the Chargers could upset the Texans, but do we think that they're going to beat the Chiefs?
Is that an upset?
Not.
Chargers beat Houston. Is that really an upset?
No.
I don't think it is.
No. Only in seeding.
Denver, I will say this right now. Denver, it is adorable that you made the playoffs. There is a better chance of me winning Wimbledon next year than you beating the Buffalo Bills. In Buffalo, it's not going to be fun for you.
Commanders could upset the Bucks, and I wouldn't be shocked. Jaden Daniels on a heater. Stop. Jaden Daniels on a heater against that defense.
Stop what? You're telling me right now that you don't think Washington's better than Tampa Bay?
No.
I do not. You are markedly more delusional than I thought you were.
I mean, their offense, I'll give them that. I'll give them your quarterback's better. I'll give you.
Their defense is better than yours.
Really?
Your defense sucks on ice. You made Spencer Rattler.
I mean, we could stop the run, and that's one thing that we can.
Spencer Rattler look like a legitimate NFL quarterback for 3 quarters.
That second, the back half of that second, or the back half of that defense is no surprise. Of course, it's bad.
Yeah,
the front 7. That's just better than Washington.
As a matter of fact, I'm curious. I know this line's already out, so let's. Oh boy,
3.5.
I hate seeing my team. Anytime I see Jets, I don't want to read that. I don't want to know. You're a 3-point favorite at home.
3-point favorite. Yeah, figured.
I'll take Washington.
Okay.
I'll take Washington. Won't think about it twice.
Good for you.
Philadelphia's only a 4.5-point favorite against the Packers? Really?
The Vikings over the Rams is not an upset.
The Vikings are favored.
Of course they are.
In LA.
Of course they are. Because they're a 14-3 team. Like, there will be no quote-unquote upsets here. You see Minnesota has to go to the next round to play in Detroit again. Do you think that's going to go much differently than it just did last night?
No.
No. That's what I'm saying. There's nobody coming out of the lower seeds here that are really going to be much of a challenge even for the higher seeds.
The interesting part to me is that I don't really believe in anybody in the AFC. If you put any other logo on the Kansas City Chiefs, you wouldn't buy them either.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you can't do that because they have been here. They've proven they can do it before. But, man, I don't like that team. This feels like a collision course of Lions-Bills. That's what I see. Okay. Those are clearly the two best teams in the league to me. Now, the question is what's going to screw that up, because something invariably is going to, because our first Super Bowl cannot be Lions-Bills. I would enjoy that too much, and the universe will not allow me that kind of happiness.
No. Congratulations. It's going to be Chiefs-Eagles for the 14th time in a row.
Please no.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville.
We have a couple super chats to get to.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Soaring Eagle wanting to rehash things with my New York Jets. Yeah, he did send me over the break that Woody Johnson is a clueless old geezer.
Mm-hmm.
And to the point of Woody had to come out today in his state of the team address and say his son, who's 17 years old, has no role with the team. That's what my team does.
That should not be
also,
even a question.
I just for posterity's sake, so I could get this out, Adam Schefter did me a big solid favor and compiled the list of people the Jets have either already interviewed or asked permission to interview.
Okay.
Mike Vrabel, who's probably taking the Patriots job. Ron Rivera. Please, God, no. Just no. Rex Ryan. That's the best name on this list, and it ain't even close. Brian Flores, Josh McCown, Joe Brady, Matt Nagy, Arthur Smith, Brian Greasy, Aaron Glenn, who would not take this job, Vance Joseph, and Bobby Slowick.
Wait, how did Ben Johnson not get on that list?
Because Ben, I would wager they asked for Ben, and he went, I could save you on the plane ticket.
He went, I'm good.
No, I don't want to do that.
It just seems odd that Bobby would be on the list and not Ben.
Well, when you're the Jets, you have to get whoever will interview with you.
Very true.
Rex Ryan did say he will put an end to the Aaron Rodgers Country Club, though. Let's go. By the way, if you didn't make the money on the Jets beat the Dolphins yesterday, you haven't listened to Jeremy nearly close enough over the last few years. Because I made a buku, and it was super easy to predict. Oh, no reason to win? Aaron Rodgers' last game? Of course he's going to look like an NFL quarterback.
Is it over?
Oh, God, yeah.
He's done?
He's done in New York. I can't tell you if he goes somewhere else. I don't know who that would be. But, yeah, he's done in New York. I don't see any of those names signing up to ride this ride with Aaron Rodgers again.
I couldn't imagine he would want to go on after the way that this season has gone.
Well, he threw one quarter yesterday. It didn't look like anybody for the Jets wanted to go on.
No, kind of like the Kansas City Chiefs.
You could have put Jim Jones on the corner of the sideline of the New York Jets, and I would have gone, doesn't look wrong to me. Because they all look like they just wanted it to be over. And we still have a couple more.
All right.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Sir Jimothy, who we love dearly, even when he says things like this. 2025 will be the Dallas Cowboys year. I had to say it first.
Oh, my God.
It'll be the Jets, too.
Can we not?
Yeah, I can't wait for Super Bowl next year. New York Jets, Dallas Cowboys. Woo!
Go put a penny on it right now. You'll win $6 million. Somebody will take it.
No, you won't, because both those fan bases are delusional. They'll somehow both end up in the top 5 of odds to make the Super Bowl next year because their fan bases are crazy people.
Just all the astronomical odds for that one.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Amon report. With all the teams either doing half measures or retaining their coaches, Atlanta and Tennessee should consider jettisoning their regimes for Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson, I don't believe, would take either one of those jobs.
No. Michael Penix is not enough.
I'll be honest with you.
Me.
I'm officially to the point. I'm not sure Ben doesn't just go back to Detroit. Because I'm looking around going, where's he going to go? He keeps saying it has to be a solid front office. I bet I've heard that 20 times in the last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Where is that team? Is it the Saints? Stop. The Jets or the Bears?
The
or
Jacksonville
the
Jaguars
with Trent Baalke, which leads me into our next one.
Comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money.
It's also from Eamon Report. It said, bad move by Shad Khan to retain Trent Baalke. Don't be shocked when Trevor Lawrence comes requesting a trade. Well, the problem is that Trevor's contract kicks in next year, so it would cost them $1 gajillion to trade him. So he requests a trade all he wants to. They physically,
it's not going to happen.
For 3 years, they physically can't trade him. The dead cap money would be so much that they couldn't satiate it.
Right.
So I think it's comical that Shad Khan never looks around and goes, hey, maybe it's you. Maybe it's you, guy that built this whole roster of nothing but bums. I mean, just think about how much draft capital they've had. How many stars does Jacksonville have?
Oh, good Lord.
Brian Thomas.
Yeah.
Brian Thomas Jr., end of message. Josh Hines Allen, maybe.
No, he's a star. He's a low level star. I mean, he's turning in.
All right.
All
right. I'm going to ask you a question here, and I didn't preface this, and I'm real curious. What is the first name that comes to your mind?
Right.
If we were casting a Hollywood movie, Josh Hines Allen is the equivalent of your star being.
I don't have him. Scott Baio.
Kathy Bates. Paul Giamatti.
Actually, that's better than Scott Baio.
For sure. Yeah, Scott Baio hasn't done anything except be pretty in 40 years.
Have you not seen him on Twitter? He ain't that pretty anymore.
I'm sure he's not. He's got to be 70.
It's not that old.
Marty Jannetty was attractive at one time, and then, well, drugs is tough, bro. Drugs is tough.
That's very true. Didn't expect a Marty Jannetty reference on today's program,
hey,
but
I came in on fire there, Tank. I'm all hyped up on Dayquil.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Red C said, Jeremy, your Jets can take Drew Petzing. I will pay for his plane ticket. I'm going to pass on that. I mean, if it was Drew Petzing or Matt Nagy, Eric Bieniemy's still the right call. And I should tell you everything you need to know.
Right.
Because if you told me right now it was those three names or Deion Sanders, I would give you every dollar out of my wallet for Deion Sanders over the three of those. Thanks, Jets. Always good to know that you could be there to just kick me in the groin one more time.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. Follow us anywhere at the Sportsocracy. We'll be right back.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Getting into the showers this afternoon of rain as temperatures get into the mid-40s with a wind advisory now in place for gusty winds that'll start to pick up 30-plus miles per hour. Most of the rainfall, though, is going to be ending. Tonight, there is a chance of snow showers with the colder air filtering in. Windy and cold, 19 degrees. Wind chills will be easily in the single digits. Tuesday, partly to mostly sunny, windy and cold, especially early, high 35. Wednesday, sunny, 35. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
We're getting our praise on every Sunday morning from 6 to 10 a.m. The best artists in gospel music are right here on Throwbacks 101.1. Presented by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings.
If you or a loved one have been a victim of crime, the North Carolina Department of Public Safety Office of Victim Compensation Services provides programs to help you find peace of mind. We are here to help you apply for benefits that you may qualify for to recover from hardships such as lost wages and medical expenses. To learn more, visit ncdps.gov/4victims. That's ncdps.gov/4VICTIMS.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Taco Bell's new crispy chicken nuggets are full of surprises. All white meat chicken breaded in crispy tortilla chips with Hidden Valley Fire Ranch sauce, blending Taco Bell Fire Sauce and Hidden Valley Ranch flavors. The new crispy chicken nuggets, available at participating stores, limited time only while supplies last.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need with high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com. That's mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com for your local one-stop custom apparel shops.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
We are back at the Sportsocracy on an Overreaction Monday, and I want to talk about my game for just 1 second.
Why?
Because
you did possibly
hats
the
off.
stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, what was that?
Well, the game's over. All we have to do is kneel it out and go to the playoffs. But we had to force feed one to Mike Evans to get him that record.
Absolutely, you did.
I would have had 5 guys on him.
They should have.
I will give you a touchdown.
They should have.
I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
If you throw it at Mike Evans, I swear to you, I'm going to run this back for a touchdown.
Right. And Gene Deckerhoff had the call yesterday, and the last few seconds of the game, it was all about Mike Evans because the Bucs had the ball, and they didn't mean to score. They had a broken play to Bucky Irving. That was like a little screen pass, and Bucky took it 17 yards for a touchdown on the previous drive.
Thanks for that.
With like a minute and 20 seconds to go.
As a guy that had Bucky Irving in battle for the belt, we're going to talk about that here in about 15 minutes. I'll give you one guess who your champion is.
Every Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan watching that game yesterday, on the last drive, you're driving in, there's just a little over a minute, under 2 minutes to go in the game. He breaks it off. And we're all going, get out of bounds, because we got 5 more yards to get Mike Evans his 1,000 yards. Well, he scored the touchdown. Luckily, they were able to force a quick punt and get the ball back. And everybody in the stadium knew it. Gene Deckerhoff's doing the call, and he goes, all right, Mike Evans is coming out, and he's motioned to the right. No, he motions back to the left. Everybody knows what's coming. And he went right across the defense. They threw him the little slant. He got 9 yards on the play, set the record, or tied Jerry Rice's 11 consecutive seasons with 1,000 yards, and got his $3 million. Hats off.
Dub.
Not dub.
I was watching that play. Amy was sitting beside me, and I said, I swear to you, I would have 2 guys playing underneath in the flat because I know exactly what route's coming. It was just a little hitch.
Yep.
I know exactly what's coming. I'm going to have another one over the top. And when he catches if he catches this through the 2 guys in the flat, I'm going to hit him as hard as humanly possible just to prove a point of how unbelievably stupid this is.
Mm-hmm.
Kneel it out.
Stupid to chase the record.
If Baker Mayfield throws an interception, you miss the playoffs that way, that would have been unequivocally the funniest, Todd Bowlesiest thing I had ever seen in my entire life.
Mm-hmm. And it could have been the thing that got him fired. That's why in that situation, it's a no-lose for me. If Todd Bowles gets fired because Baker Mayfield throws a pick 6 on this and they get the 2-point conversion and we end up losing in overtime, because we were up by 8. So a lot would have had to have happened to turn that game around.
Pick 6.
But
and on the route that you threw to him, that's a lot easier.
That's what I'm saying, though. He gets the pick 6. You still got to hit the 2-point conversion, and then you got to win in overtime. So there's a lot more that had to happen there to make that. The game wasn't necessarily that on the line.
But you're saying there's a chance.
Oh, there's a chance.
Yeah. You know what? Where there's not a chance? When you snap it and take a knee.
Couldn't do it, and I would have rioted. I mean, there would have been a mob outside One Buck Place. No doubt about it. If they had took a knee on that ball, everyone would have thrown crap on the field. I guarantee you. You couldn't have ended that anyway other than that.
And that explains a lot. My story is about the Indianapolis Colts. There's a feud happening in Indianapolis that I cannot say that I expected.
Mm-hmm.
And it's between Zaire Franklin and Pat McAfee. Did you happen – this happened while we were gone. Did you happen to see the little tirade that Pat went on about his beloved Colts?
No.
I'll read it for you.
He's been at their throat like all season, hasn't
Well,
he?
he should be. A blind person could see the red flags on this team. Work ethic questions never happen on good teams. Preparation, commitment questions never happen on good teams. Late to meetings never happens on good teams. Late to skipping treatment never. He went on and on and on and on and on. He then said that he would not be renewing his suite tickets with the Indianapolis Colts. Do you know where his suite is?
It's like right in the end zone.
It's in the end zone on the field. So yesterday, after Indianapolis wins what can only be described as the most meaningless game in NFL history, if you watched more than 15 seconds of it, I'm going to need you to explain that to me. Zaire Franklin goes over and acts like he's shaking hands with Pat McAfee, except there's nobody there because the booth is empty.
Oh, okay.
There's nobody in the suite because McAfee didn't show up.
Oh, so he played like he was shaking hands with the guy who wasn't there.
So the reason he did that is that McAfee said there are only 5 guys on this team that should remain, and Zaire Franklin, who leads the NFL in tackles, was not one of them. I'll wait when I hear you tell me where Pat was wrong. And I get it, West Virginia connection. I understand that everybody thinks I'm a Pat McAfee homer, and I am to a point. He ain't wrong. The Denver freaking Broncos made the playoffs. Indianapolis is immensely more talented than Denver. Fact or fiction? 1-53.
Immensely?
You're matching those rosters up. How many receivers for the Indianapolis Colts would be the one for Denver? Michael Pittman, for sure.
Sure.
Josh Downs, for sure. Alec Pierce, the way he's played in the last 4 weeks, I'll say that's Cortland Sutton adjacent.
Okay.
A.D. Mitchell would easily be the 2. You couldn't move the ball. And everything he's saying, he's probably the most connected person in the world to that team. He's not wrong. Every problem I've seen from the Indianapolis Colts, it's everything he just said. It's all commitment. It's all just death by 1,000 paper cuts. It's not that you don't have enough talent. It's that you're not committed. And it's insanely obvious. By the way, you want to know why I'm so, I'll say, sensitive to this? Because I could say the same thing about the New York Jets. The discrepancy in talent is not that big. I'll give you a handful of teams that are in the playoffs right now and a handful of teams that aren't in the playoffs. And the roster that's out is way more talented than the roster that's in. They worked harder than you did. They were more committed than you were. And for Zaire Franklin to take the most famous fan of your team in the world and start, this is who you want to have the little urination contest with? And that's why you're the Indianapolis Colts. Always have been, always will be. Had the best quarterback probably in NFL history, not named Tom Brady. You won a ring.
Mm-hmm.
singular.
Mm-hmm.
Tom won 7. You won I'm sure that's just a coincidence, though.
But is that not because they're better? Because they're a better organization. Is that what you're saying? The New England Patriots were that much better of an organization, and that's why they won?
For sure.
And it was not based on talent.
For sure. How many guys left New England were absolute bums? How many guys left New England and were absolutely irrelevant? How many of them left Indianapolis and got better? Brandon Stokely. Yeah, he was the same guy in Denver that he was in Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
Danny Amendola was completely irrelevant everywhere but New England. That's not a coincidence. It's just not. Good. Look, I almost did this for social media, and now that this has come up, I'm mad that I didn't. I almost took the playoff standings from 5 years ago and just put them up there. And, it's funny how similar that looks to what we have right now.
Mm-hmm.
Weird that the same teams outside of a couple they seem to be awful consistent because they're better than you are. They work harder than you. The structure is better than yours. And guess what, Indianapolis? You fall into that Jets tier. Bradley Presley, who is a great Colts fan, by the way, very committed Colts fan, basically said it was shocking to see how many guys on national television were just mailing it in. How bad do you think it was behind closed doors? Why do you think Pat said it?
Mm-hmm.
Because he knows how bad it was behind closed doors. Because he's got sources in that team that he played with. How often do you sit around with your buddies and complain about your boss? I'll bet you they do that with Pat, too.
And how long before it takes anybody to realize that they need to blow that up? Or if it's this bad now, what's going to stop it? Another year of Shane Steichen, or another year of the GM being in control?
I don't necessarily know that Shane Steichen is the problem. I really don't.
Who has to answer for this?
Well, Chris Ballard will answer first. Chris Ballard's if he doesn't get fired, I'll be reasonably surprised. Now, if Steichen did, I would be reasonably surprised as well.
Mm-hmm. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. Coming up in the next hour, we'll continue the Overreaction Monday, going through the firings. We haven't talked about the firings yet.
No, we can do that, but we have breaking news.
Oh, we always like breaking news. That means somebody else got fired.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
This is from our buddy at Rap Sheet Ian Rappaport. Christian Watson is believed to have torn his ACL yesterday in a meaningless game against the Chicago Bears that you lost anyway. Why does this have to happen every year for teams to go, hey, the difference between the 6 and the 7, it's really not that big. Well, you got your quarterback.
I was going to say it's the difference between being able to win a game and not really being able to win a game. At least it would be like in the NFC.
Whoop-de-doo. All right, you avoid Philadelphia for a week. You got your quarterback hurt, and not your best receiver, your best deep threat receiver for sure. It's just dumb.
Mm-hmm.
It's just dumb. There's a reason that Sean McVay looked at this and went, we could be the 3 or the 4. And you know what? If I could get the janitor in a jersey, I'll get the janitor in a jersey.
I'm out. I'm not getting anybody hurt for a meaningless game.
And there's a reason that one of you is probably going to go down as an elite head coach in NFL history, and one of you is Matt LaFleur.
Yep.
Now, I don't have a whole lot of analysis on that. T's and P's for Christian Watson. I do, however, have my own breaking news.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
As all of you know, we've been playing Battle for the Belt. Tank and I've been gone for 3 weeks, so, we didn't really have – Michael Meadows and I have conspired trying to find any way that I didn't win. We cannot find one. Aggregate, final week, whatever the case may be. I, Captain Yellow Shirt, am your champion.
Good job.
We're not done yet. We're not done yet. And here's why. Because I don't like how all this went. All right? I don't like that we weren't able to update this because we weren't here. We took a lot of time off. So we're going to do a second chance at the Mullet King, which is my new name, by the way. I'm no longer just Mullet. I am now the Mullet King.
Mm-hmm.
All of you that won weeks and one extra, Grand fan, he scored a gajillion D points in the playoffs and finished second to me twice. We're going to let you into a playoff DraftKings spectacular for the wild card and divisional rounds. The highest aggregate score. So we'll have one winner each week. Whoever wins a week, you deserve to be in the finals. You'll have the winners. We'll have the 4 highest aggregate scores. The 6 of you will play against me directly in the conference championship games in the Super Bowl for the title of working title. Well, it's not Battle for the Belt champion because that's this guy.
Yeah, he's not giving you the belt. That's not what this is.
That belt has had a spot on this here shelf right here behind me for the better part of 3 years. It's time for that bad boy to come home.
See, everybody was like, wait a minute. Are we getting a chance at this? No, you're not getting a chance at the belt.
No. However, I do have something conspired that I mean, and don't get me wrong, I want it too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to battle you just as hard as if this was. We haven't come up with a title for this yet.
Mm-mm.
I feel like we should crowdsource that.
Yes.
But if you get an invite for the Sportsocracy Second Chance
Champions.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Look at you. Then that means you are one of the week winners that is competing for the ultimate Second Chance Championship.
There you go. Congratulations to Flostradamus for finally living out his dream that was born 3 years ago.
And I'm
of
not going to
being the battle for the belt champion.
And I'm not going to lie to you. I was so confident in my lineup yesterday. I won a lot on DraftKings. I had 4 Falcons. I had Penix, Bijan, Drake London, and Tyler Algier. And your little touchdown from Bucky.
Yeah.
Old Boosie, he helped me out a lot.
He's a good dude.
He is a good dude. He's kind of a free space on the board. And yesterday wasn't great, but it was good enough. Drake London. That was – oh, you mean J.C. Horn's not playing? Which means Carolina's tallest corner is Tank's height. This is not going to go good for you. And it didn't.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
Were you uninvited to game night? Do you play board games with the ferocious intensity of an iron-fisted oligarch? Have friends left game night asking, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Right now, during Mattress Firm's semi-annual sale and clearance, save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic. Plus, get a $300 instant gift. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs? You bet we are. Kevin Hart here for DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the playoffs, and you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score 6. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WPEK. That's code WPEK for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5.
Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. Our purpose, to improve lives with every interaction. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Like Trent and Doug, whose first instinct was to fill their trucks with supplies and drive to the hardest hit areas in those first hours. like Eric, who hosted the football team to support their neighbors and begin the cleanup efforts. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. Need to whip up a dessert, entree, side dish? No problem. The experts from the Ingalls Table take you through it step by step with expert tips and advice along the way. Find the Ingalls Table at ingalls-markets.com or swing by the store and pick up your free copy of the Ingalls Table magazine. And let's get cooking. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Getting into the showers this afternoon of rain as temperatures get into the mid-40s with a wind advisory now in place for gusty winds that'll start to pick up 30-plus miles per hour. Most of the rainfall, though, is going to be ending. Tonight, there is a chance of snow showers with the colder air filtering in. Windy and cold, 19 degrees. Wind chills will be easily in the single digits. Tuesday, partly to mostly sunny, windy and cold, especially early, high 35. Wednesday, sunny, 35. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off, free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part? They accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer. Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times. Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants? These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
In 2024, what we paid
paying more for things
was a lot.
That will change.
In 2025, let's pay
what they're supposed to be paying.
Attention.
A lot of things can happen.
A busy news year on 570 WWNC.
As we recover as a community, it's important to help each other. Hummingbird Insurance, as always, is offering free assistance to help you navigate your health insurance options for this year. Headquartered in Asheville, Hummingbird is one of the top-rated insurance agencies in the country. Schedule a free consultation to compare plans across multiple insurance carriers. The enrollment deadline is January 15th. We make it easier than hauling water. Visit healthcaresucks.com. That's healthcaresucks.com.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio.
It is an Overreaction Monday on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard on 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. Everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. Seen everywhere on YouTube. All you got to do is follow us on the social medias at The Sportsocracy. Also go to thesportsocracy.com. Click that live video link. Subscribe to the channel. That gets you into the chat. Overreaction Monday today, brought to you by a lot of angry fans. There seems to be a lot of angry fans out there today because it's Black Monday. We've got people losing their jobs. We've got people not losing their jobs that maybe should be losing their jobs.
Trent Baalke.
That's one.
Trent Baalke.
We were just talking about
what kind of weird pictures does he have to have of Shad Khan?
You think Shad Khan really actually cares about the football program that he has?
He should.
Like, I just don't feel like he's a serious owner, and I never have.
I mean, he's better than Woody Johnson, but that's not saying a lot.
He's always been just looking for the next sizzle. It's like, this is the guy that owns AEW, right? He owns a professional wrestling organization.
His son really owns it, but his son runs it. I guess Shad is.
I was going to say, Shad owns it, but the kid runs it. I just don't feel like you're a serious organization, and why would you take this seriously? You never really have. And you haven't ever been able to pick a what?
Rob Johnson just won the day. It was the first Joey Taylor joke of the day. I knew that was coming.
We're not going there.
I knew it was coming.
We're not going there. Just, it's not going to. Do your thing in the chat. Y'all can have fun with it. I'm not.
Google it.
We're not doing it. No.
Google it.
We're not. Anyhow, Jacksonville Jaguars are a clown organization run by a clown. So why are you shocked that he can't figure out, oh, wait, Trent Baalke really doesn't know football? Oh, wait, hiring, Urban Meyer was not a good idea. Hiring Doug Peterson was not a good idea.
Look, the fact he owns a pro wrestling organization is the most on-brand thing for an NFL owner ever.
Yes.
Because that's what you are. You're a yard barker. Now, let me ask this question. What coach worth his salt is looking at Jacksonville going, I can't wait to be a part of that?
None of them. None of them. It's going to be – I knew the state of this thing when Byron Leftwich told them to go pound sand. Byron Leftwich, star offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? And he's going to get the Jacksonville Jaguars job. And what was the story? They brought him in, interviewed him. He was ready to bring in his own staff and make this into something because he used to play here, and it was going to matter. The one thing he said was, I don't want to work with Trent Baalke.
Wow. You want to hear an unbelievable – this is from the 33rd team. In the last decade, there have been 10 NFL head coaches that were fired during or after their first season with the team.
Mm-hmm.
Trent Baalke hired 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Tomsula, Chip Kelly, and Urban Meyer. Wow. Wow. I did not know that.
It doesn't take much for you to realize that the track record is not good with this guy. And 2 of those happened at his previous stop in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
So that should have been a warning sign.
The
fact that he ran Jim Harbaugh out of the business and ran him to college after he went to a Super Bowl should have been sign for everybody that something is wrong here.
I want you to I'm going to give you, since 2021, every pick in the first 2 days of the NFL draft from Trent Baalke. And I want you to tell me if you see a trend here.
Okay.
Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, Tyson Campbell, Walker Little, Andre Sisco, Trayvon Walker, Devin Lloyd, Luke Fortner, Anton Harrison, Brenton Strange, Tank Bigsby, Brian Thomas, Mason Smith, Jerrion Jones. Other than Brian Thomas, where's the star in that? Those are top 100 picks, and half of them are worthless. How in the world does Trent Baalke keep getting stays of execution in Jacksonville? Pete Prisco, who I think might be one of the biggest lunatics in this business, said Jacksonville Jaguar fans wanted Baalke out worse than Peterson, and they didn't want him either.
Because he has that relationship with Shad Khan. They're friends, right?
There are a handful of names, handful of teams in this league. You're just not serious enough about this, which is why you've been dumpster fires forever. Jacksonville, Cleveland, the Jets. We could put the Carolina
Panthers up to this point.
The Atlanta Falcons. The Arizona Cardinals. There are a handful of you that just you make decisions that don't make any sense. My wife makes fun of me for this all the time because I constantly watch football on Sundays, and I have a line that I say quite often. This is really not that hard. It's why it drew me to it, because it's not exactly rocket surgery to figure out when something makes sense and when it doesn't.
Oh, are you talking about the actual officiating of the game as well?
All of it.
Because, I mean, that goes in. Did you by any chance see the 4.5-minute delay during the Tampa Bay game yesterday where the refs on the field could not figure out that a personal foul penalty after a first down inside the red zone, it brings the ball back, but it's not first and goal from the 25-yard line. It's 1st and 10, guys. And the commentators were standing there going, what are they even talking about right now?
So you're talking about a dead ball.
Jalen McMillan catches the ball. He goes down like at the 9-yard line, I think.
Yeah, because that does reset the stick, so it should be 1st and 10.
Right, it's first and it would have been 1st and goal.
It would have been. But it's a dead ball foul, so you never actually got the first and goal.
Right, so the penalty came, and he did little guns fingers, and they didn't like that. They said he's doing gun fingers, and he was like, I'm just pointing for the first down, and he's like, no, those are gun fingers. That's a penalty.
By the way, since I know you watched all of your Buccaneers Saints games,
yeah,
can somebody explain to me how Baker Mayfield's little run, where he decided to go full crotch in face of defender and stand over him going, weight room, was not taunting after they had
don't know
just called it not 5 plays before? I saw that and went, you have got to be kidding me. First of all, Baker, buddy, you're going to do that to the wrong guy one day, and he's going to Stone Cold Steve Austin, 1998 King of the Ring, put your head between his legs and pile drive you into the ground. Because that's what I would do. Because you're just a will feller, and I don't care how bad you think you are, you're about 1/10 of that. So, just throwing that out there.
Right. Was this the scrappy little run that he made where he lowered the shoulder into 2 defenders at the end of the ball game, possibly dislocating his shoulder and ruining any chance that this team had of winning a playoff game?
Yeah, and then he stood over the defender, literally like straddling him at face level, and I went, I don't love the taunting penalty, but if we're going to call it ever, I feel like that's the one that we should put on the manual of what it is.
It's that kind of stuff. It's that kind of stuff that makes me go, God, I hate you.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's going to get hurt. Because he's going to get hurt doing that, and that's why I hate Baker Mayfield.
I would tell him that, but old Mr. Thinskin still got me blocked on Twitter.
He blocked you on the old tweeter machine. But
blocked me on Twitter.
Jalen McMillan does the little gun fingers celebration. They called the penalty, and they backed it up 15 yards, and it was going to be 1st and goal from the 25. And it took them 4.5 minutes to figure that out. Like somebody in the league office surely could have beeped into their little, IFB and said, hey, guys, you know that's wrong, right?
You know you boo-booed this, right?
But it got to the point where it was so long that both sidelines were irate. The fans were irate. Everybody's booing. Because you got people out here that don't know what the hell they're doing.
And that's 2025 in a nutshell. We got a slew of Super Chats to get to.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
First one is from our great friend, Great North Sports. Aaron Rodgers will start a podcast and go the Pat Mac route. Someone will pay him $500 million for the exclusive rights. I have a feeling he's done.
Yeah.
Now that leads me to ask the question, what would a podcast by Aaron Rodgers be called? Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy.
That one's already taken.
Oh, shoot.
I've already done that one. I don't know. It's got to have something to do with...
Darkness Retreat.
Yeah. Into the darkness.
God, we've been doing this together way too long.
Into the Darkness with Aaron Rodgers. What is the name? Have you seen the documentary that they did?
Benji Shackelford.
They did a documentary about him.
Enigma.
Yeah. That's what it was.
Aaron Rodgers. I got like 20
Enigma.
minutes into it, and he's laying in a hot tub just higher than giraffe huevos. And I went, I don't want to see my quarterback like this. He's just sitting there like, have you ever thought about how they make Doritos, man? It's a tortilla, and it's deep fried, and then they put it in this stuff, and it's really good, and then you eat it. And Shut up, please. I have never hated a player, and I didn't hate Aaron Rodgers for 18 years.
Yep.
Then he became my quarterback, and he became my problem. And everything he says, it's almost like a bad marriage. Just shut up, shut up, shut up. I wish you would shut up.
Well, I always go back to the to the philosophizer that was
the great philosophizer.
The great philosophizer that was whoever wrote the movie Bull Durham. When Kevin Costner's telling Nuke that you can have fungus on your shower shoes when you're in the show and you're winning 20 games. But until then, that makes you a slob. Which is kind of how I feel about Aaron Rodgers. When he was winning MVPs and he was the best quarterback in the league, you can be kind of kooky. You can be that, I go on darkness retreats and I take drugs when I'm not supposed to and it just opens my mind and I do all these podcasts and don't I have so much fun? You can do that when you're winning. When you come in to be the savior, quote unquote, of the New York Jets, which he was, you remember all of the talks that we had about, this is it. This is the Jets' chance.
I don't know what you're referring to. I don't believe I fell for those things.
No, never.
I believe I have deleted the tape, but there will be.
Greatest roster ever assembled through the NFL draft by Joe Douglas. And Aaron Rodgers is going to come in and he's going to lead us to the promised land. And then what did he do? 4 plays into the first year, he gets hurt. He misses the entire season. Gives you hope at the end of that season that he might come back for maybe we can make the playoffs. So we went through that bull crap for 7 weeks last year.
I'm going to tell you something that I thought about yesterday. And once I say it, you're never going to unsee it.
Yeah.
The Aaron Rodgers circus with the New York Jets is straight out of a script from the writers of The Office.
Yes.
He shows up as the savior of the franchise last 4 plays. Then he starts smoking drugs with a shaman in a mountain that you've never heard of, and now he's bionic, and he's got what are the things that Wolverine's claws are made out of?
Adamantium.
Adamantium. Now he has adamantium Achilles, and the only problem is that it's really heavy, so now he can't run, so he's slower than dirt, and he gets his brains beat out, and the owner's kid is making fun of him, and he doesn't like it, and he's doing a podcast, and they suck on ice, and then it's all over because they're the Jets.
And he was so bad 4 weeks into this season that the owner had a meeting wanting to sit him. He's been god-awful ever since.
Hey, but then yesterday, he shows up and goes, hey, every other team in the NFL, don't forget, I can still play to win this one stupid, meaningless game for the New York Jets that I promise you is going to burn me because there's going to be somebody that I want at 6, and the Raiders are going to take him, and we're going to be there, and I'm going to say obscenities real loud, and I'm going to get carried out of Titletown in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I'm calling my shot. There's going to be some schmuck with a cheese on his head that's going to carry me out and say, we don't allow those things here, sir. I thought all this yesterday.
I
was high on NyQuil, but
you were high on something.
I was like Aaron Rodgers on NyQuil.
You can't make. I mean, this is one of the biggest bungles in NFL history. Of we're making one move to make our poverty franchise stand out for once, and it went so horribly wrong that only the Jets could do.
Oh no, we stand out. We're like the crazy guy, the one-man band guy that wears his tighty-whities and has cymbals on his knees and a big drum, and he's got a trumpet and a harmonica, and he's playing Freebird on the corner for quarters. That's the Jets. That's what I do. You want to know why I'm so angry? Because that is what I look forward to every year, and it just kicks me right in a bad place every single year. And then I have yesterday where I actually have a moment where I go, oh, it's sad that I'm not going to have this. Wait, what the hell did I just say? I'm sad that this is not going to keep happening. What am I doing with my life? Welcome to being a Jets fan.
Exactly, and that's how brainwashed the NFL has all of us.
We have a series of more super chats that we must get to before we take a commercial.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Tristan Johnson, as a Commanders fan, I wonder why I'm not hearing a lot of Dan Quinn for Coach of the Year. Won 12 games with a team that won 4 the previous year. I'm not going to lie to you. I ask that question a lot, too. Because if I had a vote for Coach – if you had a vote for Coach of the Year, who are you voting for?
Boo. Probably Kevin
KOC.
O'Connell.
Yeah. O'Connell's getting he's getting my first place vote, but it's real close with Dan Quinn. I mean, look, I was superiorly down on Minnesota. Mm-hmm. I'm more impressed that the team was that good than Sam Darnold, which is why if you told me you were going to vote Dan Quinn, I'm not going to get mad at you. Because if you want to give the credit to the defense for Brian Flores, I can't tell you you're wrong. Sam, all you did was give Sam the latitude to be Sam. I mean, you still saw the bad last night. It's still there. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, he was phenomenal. And O'Connell deserves some credit for that. I probably don't think it's as much as everybody else.
I probably have Dan Campbell ahead of him.
Dan Campbell had the best team in the NFL. Yeah, sorry.
Did he, though?
For sure he did.
He did. I mean, obviously. But the way that team came together with all of the injuries and things, that's one of the greatest coaching jobs.
We were high on Washington saying they were going to win 7 games this year. They won 12.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dan Quinn deserves to be at least discussed there. And I would definitely have him over Dan Campbell.
That's what I was talking about. I wouldn't say an overall KOC, Kevin O'Connell, would be number 1 for me. Dan Campbell would probably be 2. Dan Quinn's up there, though. I thought that was going to be an utter, unmitigated disaster. I thought you just traded in one loser for another one. Right? When they fired Ron Rivera, you remember when you told me that Dan Quinn got that job? I laughed.
It was Senior Bowl week last year.
Yeah, I laughed a lot.
I'll never forget that. All right, I can inside baseball you here because I don't know that I've ever told you the story before. So when I'm at the Senior Bowl, I have to find somewhere to do the interviews that I do with you. That was on an off day. I was right outside of the liquor store right there in Mobile, and there was a guy beside me that was 100% out of his mind screaming, and he was chasing me around because I was on the phone, so I was trying to dodge him. And so I kept looking at him going, you won't stop yelling random things, so I need to get away from you. So I would go down like 2 blocks, and then there he would be again. And I'm like, I'm going to have to whip your geister before this is all said and done because stop following me around.
Oh, like the bikes game, the bikes guy from the Beach Bowl.
Bikes! Yeah,
not the Beach Bowl, the Peach Bowl. We did go to the Beach Bowl as well.
Yes. One game a lot more of a game than the other.
Yes.
We have 2 more Super Chats.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
This is without a doubt sports talk for people with ADHD.
No doubt.
If you take your Ritalin, you're not going to enjoy this nearly as much as you do right now. It's from Soaring Eagle. Tyreek comes out after the loss to Old Man River and outright says, I want out of this nightmare. I'm here to say you need to tear it down to the studs. Miami's keeping Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm stunned that one of them did not get rolled. And now you got Tyreek. Have you seen Tyreek Hill change his social media profile picture?
No.
He put his head on Antonio Brown after he had ripped his jersey off in the Meadowlands. Whoa. Tyreek Hill's going full nanner stuffings, boys and girls.
I can't blame him.
This ride's going to be a lot of fun.
I can't blame him. He's already said, I want to be done at 30, right? He's only got –
Well, he came out yesterday and said he wants to be dealt. He's done.
Right. But what I'm saying is he already came out, 2 years ago and said, when this ride's over, I'm done. I'm getting out of this before I'm damaged. I got things that I want to do after this. We've talked about has some of the things that he wants to get into after this. And,
adult film.
You know, good for you, Tyreek. But he doesn't want to do this forever, so my chances to win are limited. You brought me here under the theory that we're going to put together an offense that this league has never seen before and we're going to win. And you haven't lived up to your end of the bargain.
If that's your plan, Tyreek, you better be like the Mullet King. # built different. The rest of Soaring Eagles was also stock down Sean Payton. Go for 2 at Cincinnati. Bo Nix was screaming it. yeah, that was an instance where you go for two. Go for two there.
Mm-hmm.
Because you shouldn't still be in this game, but you are. And another.
Oh, and another one after that. Okay, thank you.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
From Red Sea, he said, as a Cardinals fan, how does this feel, Jacksonville? Get ready for a decade of pain. Went through this with Keim and Bidwell. Okay, hold on. I gotta back the old truth trolley up here. I want you to introspectively realize that you just told Jacksonville Jaguars to get ready for a decade of pain. I almost feel like Eric Foreman here when Red looks at him and says, fun time's over. Where was I for fun time?
Twice. I got it twice.
Has this not been a decade of pain? I feel like we just got out of a decade of pain.
No,
Do you not remember 2018 when we almost beat New England and everybody said, oh, that's the next super team?
Yep.
And then Blake Bortles took 8 blows to his freshly formed head and turned into Jamarcus Russell 2.0?
Mm-hmm.
That was not that long ago.
That's another great example of a one-hit wonder that I had forgotten about. Blake Bortles is we're going to turn around the franchise because they did kind of what the Commanders did this year. We weren't expecting them to be that good that year. And then they went on that incredible run. I want to say it was early in the season, wasn't it? They got out to like an 8-0 start or something like that. Carried that into the playoffs, almost beat the Super Bowl champions, and then it came crashing down. The only other time that they've been that good was second year. Wasn't it the second year of the franchise under Tom Coughlin when they went to the AFC Championship game?
Yep. And then
best you could do.
Wound up at the bottom of a player's opinion survey that said Tom Coughlin was mean to people. We still have one more super chat, and I apologize to Evan Doyle. I missed this one. My screen jumped, and it jumped right past you.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Evan said Jamar Chase for Offensive Player of the Year, Trey Hendrickson for Defensive Player of the Year, Joe Burrow for Comeback Player of the Year. You know what's sad?
There's arguments.
I couldn't tell you you're wrong on any of those three.
Those are great arguments.
And you still didn't make the playoffs, and somehow Zach Taylor's still employed today. You fired Lou Anarumo, which I'm not going to lie to you, that was definitely part of the problem.
Well, I mean, you didn't have a problem with the offense.
No.
The offense is fine. And as long as you can keep that stank off of you, Zach Taylor's going to have a job.
Can I just state for the record that I feel like Kansas City went into the locker room yesterday and laughed until they almost defecated on themselves does anybody really think that any NFL team could beat us 38-0 even when we were playing our backups? We laid down like an old cat next to the radiator because if it's we can have Denver in the playoffs or we can have Cincinnati in the playoffs, we did not have to think about that all that hard. Do we want to play Bo Nix or Joe Burrow? Carson, you know that money we paid you for this year to literally hold the clipboard? Buddy, we need you to be as inaccurate as you have ever been in your life. I can just see him talking to Andy Reid going, that's the role I was destined to play, Coach.
22 or 23 days of rest is what Patrick Mahomes is going to get before they have to take the field one more time.
I think Carson Wentz actually broke his elbow on a helmet at one point, and they went, no, that actually helps. Leave him in. No, not the kid. No, still him. We want old broken wing there. Let's just keep firing it. Never see you'll never see an orange helmet you don't like. Just keep firing it at him.
It's an Overreaction Monday here in Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for University Housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you or a loved one have been a victim of crime, The North Carolina Department of Public Safety Office of Victim Compensation Services provides programs to help you find peace of mind. We're here to help you apply for benefits that you may qualify for to recover from hardships such as lost wages and medical expenses. To learn more, visit ncdps.gov/4victims. That's ncdps.gov/4VICTIMS.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need with high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com. That's mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com for your local one-stop custom apparel shops.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. The experts from the Ingalls Table take you through it step by step with expert tips and advice along the way. Just visit ingalls-markets.com. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Getting into the showers this afternoon of rain as temperatures get into the mid-40s with a wind advisory now in place for gusty winds that'll start to pick up 30-plus miles per hour. Most of the rainfall, though, is going to be ending. Tonight, there is a chance of snow showers with the colder air filtering in. Windy and cold, 19 degrees. Wind chills will be easily in the single digits. Tuesday, partly to mostly sunny, windy and cold, especially early, high 35. Wednesday, sunny, 35. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Apple Tree Superstore.
Hurry in now to Apple Tree Acura for deals on the full lineup of 2024 Acuras, including the RDX, MDX, and Integra. Apple Tree Acura is committed to offering you professional service and a great experience. Shop online at AppleTreeSuperstore.com and in person, I-26 and Airport Road, Asheville.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen Report.
I'm Mark Starling, and this Medical Minute is brought to you by Haywood Regional Medical Center. Your health means everything to you, your family, and your community. And every minute matters when an emergency puts your health at risk. That's why it's so important to get to the hospital and get the care you need as soon as possible. The emergency department at Haywood Regional Medical Center provides quality care and even higher levels of emergency heart care found in their accredited chest pain center for just that added peace of mind. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Remember, when an emergency strikes, don't make your health wait. Get to the hospital as soon as you can and get the care that you need now at Haywood Regional Medical Center. Continuing a long-standing tradition of excellence, Haywood Regional Medical Center offers a comprehensive array of services. For more information and to check average ER wait times, visit myhaywoodregional.com. That's myhaywoodregional.com. This has been the Medical Minute, brought to you by Haywood Regional Medical Center.
We're getting our praise on every Sunday morning from 6 to 10 a.m. The best artists in gospel music are right here on Throwbacks 101.1. Presented by Ingalls Markets. Low prices, love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford, Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks Community Heroes, like Jeff and Chris, who led a fleet of Ford commercial vehicles throughout the night, delivering supplies with emergency services to all corners of the county and first responders. Like Daniel, a veteran, who accompanied law enforcement and other veterans to perform search and rescue operations. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
When you get tired of freezing your can at the tailgate, maybe it's time to ring in a new season, tailgating season. Wherever you are, whatever the forecast, with good old ale, it's the perfect way to kick off game day. From Red Cup Revelry to just kicking it solo, you can't go wrong with Dale's Pale Ale, Dale's Light Lager, and Dale's Easy IPA. Honest ingredients, no BS. Drink responsibly, and we'll see you at the Dale Gate.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
It is the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400, seen everywhere on the YouTubes. And it is time for our weird story. Jeremy, I love the Christmas season. All of the memories that it brings back up. You know, just, you ever go through pictures of like your childhood, and does your mom break out like the photo album at Thanksgiving and show you pictures of like Jeremy at 6 years old getting his first cigarette case?
There are no pictures of me as a child. It's kind of like a vampire. You can't really take a picture of it.
Okay.
You just see a big, it's like a shadow of where a person's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I do like that you set that joke up, though. That was nice.
Yeah, thank you. The Christmas season, it's just so full of nostalgia. And when I see old pictures of me as a kid, like, I can almost take myself back to the moment where I got to open that present. Like, the picture is so vivid in my mind of a reminder of what that present looked like and the emotions that I had. I don't know what I would do if I ever found an unopened present from my childhood, though. And that happened to a guy in Illinois. He's doing a bathroom remodel the other day, and right there in the drywall of the house was a Christmas present wrapped in really old, like, Disney wrapping paper, and it had his name on it. See, the house belonged to his great-grandmother, and it was a present that he was going to get from her in December of 1978.
Socks.
No, he opened it up, and it was actually a really cool, unopened, probably worth some money, set of Matchbox cars that were like the Matchbox airplanes. And I thought, how cool of a moment would that be for you to? He told the local news that it would have been a really cool present if I was 6 years old. I mean, I think it's still cool, and sure, you would have liked to have found something maybe a little more valuable in all of that. But the fact that, like, my mind immediately went to, how did that get back there? How did it get in between the drywall? And you found it during a bathroom remodel.
Who knows? Maybe great-grandma was a runner for the Colombian cartel.
Maybe
she's used to hiding stuff in the walls. That's usually where you do that.
Maybe so.
Oh, we put little Timmy's present back there. Oh, who got the Bam Bam? Where did the Bam Bam go? I screwed up. That's not going to be good.
46-year-old unopened Christmas present found in the drywall. That's a pretty cool story.
I feel like if one of my presents was been my first drinking flask. My story is about Barbara Smith, coast of Mesa, California. She was shocked to learn that apparently she died September 20th.
Excuse me?
Yep, I said that exactly how I meant it. She got a letter in the mail that her Medicare had been discontinued because she died in Boise, Idaho. One problem, she's never been to Boise, Idaho. One bigger problem, she was the one that opened the letter.
Uh-huh.
She then found out all of her bank accounts had been frozen because apparently someone named Barbara Smith did die on September 20th of 2024 in Boise, Idaho, but it wasn't her. She had to go. She sat for hours on hold with the Social Security Commission. She then had to go to the local office where they took a picture of her with her driver's license to prove that she was still alive. Am I the only one that's a little troubled by this? Yep, she died. I mean, because I have a very basic name. You have a pretty basic name, because your real name's not Tank.
Right.
I mean, I feel like we should leave it up in the air as to what your name is. Bartholomew Spencer. But it is a little unsettling because I do have a very basic name that at last check, there were like 17,000 Jeremy Greens.
Mm-hmm. I don't see how something like this happens.
My
question was this somebody who stole her identity and assumed it?
Nope.
Right? He was using her social security number and things. But no, it's just how do you get crossed off because somebody with the same name died as you in another state? It doesn't seem like that should be possible. I blame computers.
I just think it's funny now. People in the chat are guessing your first name.
That should be good.
Augustus Bartholomew Spencer.
Old Gus. No, thank you. I'll settle. I'll settle for what I got. Be fine.
No, his first name is legally Tank.
It almost was. I thought about changing it years ago. I got to wait for my dad to die, though. Because he probably would kill me if I did that. In fact, I told him I was going to change my name legally to Tank, and he said, I will kill you if you do that. So, we'll just wait a few years.
Now I want to legally change your name to something even worse. Scrubbing Bubbles Spencer.
Only your mind would go to Scrubbing Bubbles.
It's a dark place.
Mm-hmm.
We have a new intern here on the show, Michaela. She's been with us all day.
I'm glad you decided to mention her when she left the building.
Yes.
That was nice.
And I will say that in just a few hours, I do think she got a really up close of why does your brain work the way it does? Because none of that makes a whole lot of sense.
And Jeremy said that she does have previous knowledge of his craziness.
Yes, I'm friends with her dad and her uncle.
Because he kept saying things, and he would start like a controversial sentence, and I know where it's going, and I'd be like, hey, whoa, there's somebody we don't know in the studio. Only I didn't know her.
Yeah, I know.
He knew her. So
I know her, and her uncle is every bit as offensive as I am.
And that was a relief to me because I thought we were going to run into some kind of an HR issue. And I'm not saying we won't.
No, we'll be fine.
But at least today, we survived.
No, we'll be fine. She's going to make our social medias just make so much more sense and not just be like two fat guys throwing excrement against a wall, which is basically what it has been.
Bart Spencer, Hank Spencer. I've actually gotten that a lot.
Now, what's funny is that Eddie and Amanda's dog's name is Hank, and they accidentally call you Hank all the time.
Yes.
Which I find to be really funny.
Mr. Clean Spencer, that's not bad. I mean, I do like things to be rather tidy.
Scrubbing Bubbles.
Yeah. So maybe there's that. Maybe we're on to something here. Maybe this is something that we just keep shopping.
Yeah, we sell it as an endorsement. Name Tank.
Always like the name Hardy.
Alpo Dog Food Spencer.
I will change my name to Frisco Burger Spencer for the low price of a free hamburger.
Yeah, all right. For a lifetime of free Frisco burgers.
Week 18 in the NFL. Look, you had only a few games that actually mattered yesterday. Sorry that the greatest divisional title game in history didn't live up to what we expected.
It went about exactly how I thought it was.
You thought they were going to get matered? You thought the Vikings were going to get demolished.
I didn't see any way Minnesota was going into that building and beating Detroit.
Well, I didn't. Well, that's one thing.
Now, did I think Sam Darnold was going to complete 44% of his passes?
See, that's the part of it that was unexpected. I don't think there were a whole lot of people that were convinced that the Vikings were going into the Motor City and ripping away the number one overall seed. But to go in there and get dump trucked the way they did, that was a warning sign.
It did not surprise me a lot. You know what else didn't surprise me a lot?
What's that?
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
Do you, Mr. Spencer, recall the last show we did was a Power Rankings Tuesday?
Yeah.
We discussed the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember a thing that I said? You agreed.
What, that they're not as good as their record
Well,
says
I mean,
they
we
are?
had said that for weeks, that they're not going to win another game for the rest of this year.
I do remember you saying that, yes.
Yeah, and here we are. So far, batting 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Because Rusty Wilson, he became Rusty Wilson. We put this out on social media, and I got a lot of people that were, well, it's not Russ's fault. Yeah, it kind of is. I mean, I get it. George Pickens had 4 drops. I went back and checked. Outside of the last one, which wasn't a drop because the ball was so pathetically thrown that it didn't even count, he could have caught all 4 of those drops. It would not have changed this one iota. Pat Freiermuth could have caught the ball he dropped.
Yep.
There's a great chance that wouldn't have changed anything, even a drop, because you would have had to have run up to the line, spiked it. You'd have had about 7 seconds left, and you would have still needed 7 yards. Because you're talking about a 62-yard. Well, I think they were at about the 45-yard line. So you would have been looking at a 62-yard field goal, which even for Chris Boswell, while it's snowing outside, is a little bit of a tall ass.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't have mattered. None of it mattered. Russell Wilson was awful. Russell Wilson's been awful for a month. This is exactly who we told you he was. None of this should be surprising. I didn't think any of this was even controversial. He's been straight up terrible. And that's what you've got. That's the quarterback that, we're hedging our bets on Russell Wilson. No, weird. If you look at who they've played over the course of this year, and I'm not saying you got to really dig deep into the pantheon of time. His quarterback rating was a 53 against Cleveland. It's one of the worst defenses in the NFL. 85.6 against Cincinnati. 76.2 against Cleveland. 77.5 against Washington. 61.5 against the Jets. That was his first game of the year. 39.6 against the Giants with a legit pass rush. 17.5 against Baltimore. 34.6 against Philadelphia. 42 against Baltimore. 41.3 against Kansas City. 31.5 against Cincinnati, and a do-or-die game for them. You understand 50's the league average, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not a league average quarterback. He hasn't been in 3 years. Sure, you can beat up on the dregs of the league. Drew Lock showed, in the right circumstance, I can have a game. Do you think there's a snowball's chance in Atlanta that he goes into Baltimore and beats Lamar Jackson?
No.
Neither do I.
No.
Did you see the line?
9.
9.5.
9.5.
That's in a division game. 2 teams that know each other real, real well.
Mm-hmm.
What would it be if they played Kansas City? Because I go on a limb and say it's 13.5.
Could be.
If you somehow got past Baltimore and you had to play Kansas City the next week, they would obliterate you. So if you want to argue that he's actually like the 20th best quarterback in the league as opposed to 28, which is where I think he is, fine.
Mm-hmm.
The difference in those two things is really non-existent.
No, you come back to the same conclusion every time, that this is not going to be successful long term, which now is the discussion, right? The discussion now becomes, or I guess in another week, when you lose in the next round in the first round of the playoffs, you go home licking your wounds, and the discussion is going to be, are we keeping Russell Wilson? Is Russell Wilson our guy now? Do we have to give him a 30 or a 3-year, $40 million deal?
I don't see any way, as things currently sit, that you have a better option. I mean, because I'm not saying that I believe in the guy. I don't even think he's a competent NFL quarterback. I think he's a grossly overrated has-been. And he has been for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And Tank, you can attest to this. When the trade happened to Denver, I openly laughed out loud that anybody thought he was still that guy.
Yes.
I haven't been wrong for 5 seconds. So do I think there's a chance they re-sign him? Sure. And the result will be exactly the same. Exactly the same.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't spend a dime on him. I really wouldn't. If I was Pittsburgh, I wouldn't spend a dime on him. We were 6-2 with Justin Fields. It's a lot more to do with the coaching and the culture and the defense than it is about really who's under center. As long as I can get competent quarterback play, something that I wasn't getting from Kenny Pickett or Mason Rudolph, I feel okay about it.
Well, and that's the vicious cycle that Pittsburgh has been on. You know, we talk about this team never finishes below 500. You get that that's actually not advantageous, right?
Oh, yeah.
The New York Giants, who win a completely meaningless game, and now they pick 4. You know who's not going to be there at 4? A quarterback.
Yeah, no, because now the quarterbacks are going to have to go to Cleveland and Tennessee.
I wouldn't be so sure of that.
Oh, really?
Which one of those teams do you really think Shedeur Sanders, who has basically said he's going to call his shot, which one do you think he's going to go, yeah, I can't wait to do that?
No, he ain't going to be happy. He will not be
He'll
happy.
still find a way to New York, but it's going to cost you way more. I think Tennessee trades out of the first pick.
Okay.
I think they trade down. They get to 4 with the Giants because they look around and go, we're not just a quarterback away. I mean, you're not.
Mm-hmm.
You're not just a quarterback away. I don't know exactly what they're going to do, but I will tell you this. I was very down on this quarterback class. So over our holiday break, I really started trying to dig in on free agency and guys that will be available. I'm more down now than I was when we started.
Oh, no.
There was a report that had come out over the break that several NFL scouts do not have first-round grades on Shedeur Sanders. I'll go ahead and tell you, I'm one of those. I have a third-round grade on Shedeur Sanders.
Okay.
I have a first-round grade on Cam Ward. I don't have a 2. Shedeur's a 3. There are a handful of 4s if they come out.
Mm-hmm.
This may be the worst quarterback class I have ever seen.
Worse than Pickett and Willis and all them?
I don't know that there are 5 guys that will still be around 4 years from now. You know, Pickett's still in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Malik Will's still in the league. Sam Howell's still in the league. I don't know. I think Cam Ward's better on the high side than all of these guys. Shedeur Sanders has the ability to do that, but I wouldn't bet my house on either one of them.
Mm-hmm. New York Giants would give up everything to get the 1, to get Shedeur.
I don't know. I don't know that it's so much give up everything. I feel like Shedeur is going to put those top 2 teams in a really uncomfortable position by saying, I don't want to play for either one of you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, we all knew this was coming. Deion's basically screamed it from the mountaintops. He doesn't want to play in cold weather. He doesn't want to play for a bad franchise. Well, both of those are bad franchises.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is a small market bad franchise.
Right. At least he'd have the market size if he was in New York, because he's not getting a good franchise, and he's not getting a good situation.
No. And I'll
or
go,
a warm weather situation.
I'll go a step further. This quarterback class is so bad that if I were a quarterback-needy team, like the Steelers that we started this with, the Giants, any of those teams, I think you're better off getting absolutely hijacked by the Minnesota Vikings for J.J. McCarthy than any other quarterback you can have. If I was grading them right now, I have a higher grade on McCarthy, or I did last year, than I do on any quarterback not named Cam Ward. And with Cam Ward, even that's close.
Well, at least there would be a couple of options in free agency this year, or somehow in the offseason, Aaron Rodgers will be out there. Somebody could go get that.
I'm good.
Well, I'm not saying I would do it. I'm just saying that's a name that's going to be on the board. Kirk Cousins, that's another one.
I'm good.
J.J. McCarthy.
Now we're talking about something that could be at least interesting.
And if it's going to be a bad quarterback class, then these are all options that these teams should seriously consider.
I think there's a great chance that the Minnesota Vikings franchise Sam Darnold.
They have to.
I think they will franchise Sam Darnold. I don't know that he's going to get the long-term deal. Not necessarily because of what happened last night. But I think if they franchise them, if they franchise him, it still opens up the possibility that subconsciously teams will think that you still believe he's your future. I don't think Minnesota believes that. You sign Sam to the long-term contract, it's kind of a spent cost. Because now I'm going to look at you and go, well, now you need to trade J.J. McCarthy.
Yes.
If I franchise Sam and I kick that can down the road, it gives me a whole nother year to figure out exactly what I have in Sam Darnold. It also subconsciously makes teams think they still believe in J.J. McCarthy. So instead of it being we'll wait you out because we know these two guys are not going to be on this roster together. But then you look at how bad the market is. J.J. McCarthy he's the prize in this market.
Yes.
Everything else is a broken toy. Kirk Cousins, who looks 800 years old. Aaron Rodgers, who only looks about 2 years younger than that.
Justin Fields,
who will be a starter next year.
Yes.
I'll almost promise you he's a starter somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know if it's Pittsburgh or somewhere else, but he will be a starter somewhere. You're not getting great quarterback prospects. And I hate to tell you this, you're not getting them next year either. Everybody talks about how much better next year's class will be. What if Arch Manning doesn't pan out? He takes the reins at Texas, and all of a sudden he looks a lot like Quinn Ewers. He's the prize. Mostly it's guys that just didn't come out in this class that we really didn't believe in either. Whether that's Quinn or Drew Aller, which Aller, I will say, in those two games has made me go, man, I wish you were coming out because you might end up being the number one pick in this class. You are infuriating to watch.
Could he still make that call?
Lord, I think he could.
I guess he could.
Until January 15th?
Yeah, there you go.
Instead,
maybe somebody will get in his ear and tell him that's what he needs to do.
Instead, we're going to argue for 3 months about which idiot decides to fall on the Jalen Milroe grenade, because I know it's coming.
Mm-hmm. Carson Beck, Quinn Ewers. These were all guys that a year ago had promise, and we thought this might be a good class. This year didn't go well for quarterbacks and their prospects.
You want to know how bad this quarterback class is?
Yeah.
You want to take a stab at who my 3 in this class is?
Your 3?
Mm-hmm. Cam's 1, Shadour's 2.
Oh.
Milroe's my 7.
I don't know.
Carson Beck is my 3.
And you
know how I
hate
feel
him.
I do.
He's like undraftable to you.
Borderline, yeah. Wow. He's my 3.
That does line up for a historically bad class.
Jackson Dart is my 4. And Dart would be higher. The only problem is that I think he is so scheme-specific that there's only about 5 teams in the league that could draft him and him fit. That you don't really have to change anything. He just works. Then it's a fall off a cliff.
I was going to say, who's the Matt Corral of this?
Jalen Milroe. That's the one you should avoid like grim death.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville.
Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs? You bet we are. Kevin Hart here for DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the playoffs, and you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score 6. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WPEK. That's code WPEK for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5.
Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check that your seats aren't in the visitor section first, before buying tickets.
I'm so excited for this game. I can't believe you got us tickets.
Me too. Wait, are we on the wrong side?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
This is going to be a long game.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
As we recover as a community, it's important to help each other. Hummingbird Insurance, as always, is offering free assistance to help you navigate your health insurance options for this year. Headquartered in Asheville, Hummingbird is one of the top-rated insurance agencies in the country. Schedule a free consultation to compare plans across multiple insurance carriers. The enrollment deadline is January 15th. We make it easier than hauling water. Visit healthcaresucks.com. That's healthcaresucks.com.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. Need to whip up a dessert, entree, side dish? No problem. The experts from the Ingalls Table take you through it step by step with expert tips and advice along the way. Find the Ingalls Table at ingalls-markets.com or swing by the store and pick up your free copy of the Ingalls Table magazine. And let's get cooking. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks Community heroes. Like Trent and Doug, whose first instinct was to fill their trucks with supplies and drive to the areas that were hardest hit in those first hours. Like Spencer, who helped build a bridge out of debris to rescue 7 families after the road was washed away. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Getting into the showers this afternoon of rain as temperatures get into the mid-40s with a wind advisory now in place for gusty winds that'll start to pick up 30-plus miles per hour. Most of the rainfall, though, is going to be ending. Tonight, there is a chance of snow showers with the colder air filtering in. Windy and cold, 19 degrees. Wind chills will be easily in the single digits. Tuesday, partly to mostly sunny, windy and cold, especially early, high 35. Wednesday, sunny, 35. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Haywood Regional Medical Center, your health means everything. In an emergency, every minute matters. Get to the hospital and get the care that you need as soon as possible. Haywood Regional's emergency department provides quality care, including advanced heart care at their accredited chest pain center. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Your health is nothing to wait for. For more information and to check average ER wait times, visit myhaywoodregional.com. That's myhaywoodregional.com.
FEMA funding is available to support repairs on private roads and bridges, even if your primary home is not damaged. For more information or to schedule an inspection, call 1-800-621-FEMA. Again, call 1-800-621-3362.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Live from the Ingalls studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God. The Jets killed him.
It is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400 at the Sportsocracy, live in the Ingalls studio. First show of 2025, back from the break, and we're picking up right where we left off every Monday. Stock up, stock down from the weekend. No, we're not doing the weekend. We're going to do the whole break. Stock up, stock down from the holiday break today. Number one pick.
I'll go first.
Okay.
Stock up Ohio State.
Dang.
Good googly moo. What happened to you? Would it be untoward of me to say that this was the greatest long con in the history of college football? That Ohio State was actually this good the whole time, and they just decided, you know what? We're not going to look good until it matters.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you a story. You and I were at the Peach Bowl. I saw 4 quarters of the Peach Bowl. You saw like quarter
7 seconds.
And for those people that asked, no, he was not drunk. Yes, he actually was asleep for a solid 2.5 quarters of the Peach Bowl.
Yes.
That was maybe the most expensive nap in the history of the show.
It's good. I felt kind of refreshed.
I'm glad you did. We also managed to make it in and out of Atlanta without ever stopping, which I don't know how we did that.
Right.
We showed a picture on social media, and people went, did you manipulate that somehow, or was that at 2 o'clock in the morning? Because there's no cars anywhere. There were no cars in Atlanta. It was shocking.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we get out after the thrilling finish of the Peach Bowl. By the time I got back to the truck and got the radio on, Ohio State was already up 34-0. I never heard one competitive second of the Rose Bowl.
Which is hard to think that Ohio State, somewhere lying dormant in that ball club, was a team that would blow the doors off of Tennessee and then take the number one team in the country and make them look like they didn't belong in a playoff.
By the way, can we stop with the didn't belong in the playoff? Because if they didn't belong, somebody else would have had to have belonged. And I'm telling you right now, you get
Nobody
Colorado
else
in this way too quick.
Nobody else did.
I was on with Adam Gold Friday, and we started talking about this. I've now heard 7 teams did not belong in this playoff.
Yep.
You do realize there are not 7 more teams that you can even make an argument belong in this thing.
Right. I'm going to go stock down for the SEC.
Wasn't great.
It was not good. Georgia Bulldogs, it didn't go well.
You remember when I told you, you seem to just be thinking that anybody that's not Carson Beck is going to be a positive, and you ought not be going that way. Because if it was, then Kirby would probably have made a change at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Gunnar Stockton beat you. You do get that, right?
How?
What play changed the entire game? Gunnar Stockton getting blasted on the fumble. He had no idea anybody was coming.
Of course he didn't.
You know who would have?
Gunnar or Carson Beck. Probably.
Carson Beck doesn't lose that turnover. You don't have that unbelievable.
Maybe.
You'd have probably lost Carson Beck anyway.
Yes.
That fumble by itself beat you.
Mm-hmm.
That game was over at that point.
That whole stretch, that 54 seconds, was an absolute nightmare.
Yes.
And you couldn't recover from it. That was the ball game.
That was all the offense they had
Mhm.
in an entire 60-minute game.
Yeah.
Was in 54 seconds.
Right. And you couldn't do anything outside of it. But to me, that wasn't Gunnar Stockton's problem.
That's a guy that hasn't played. He hasn't
fault.
played meaningful snaps since high school.
Sure. I mean, it obviously hurt. One of the things that Kirby said going into the game was that the biggest thing he was concerned about was the protections. He doesn't really understand yet how to diagnose a defense at the college level and set the protections at the offensive line. It was the number one problem that he had. Now, you have to give credit to Notre Dame for knowing that, bringing the Hellhounds, and that play was on the left tackle, to me. Maybe he should have saw the blitz coming. Maybe he should have set a different protection. But that left tackle got absolutely demolished on that play. I don't put that on Gunnar. Very few people would have been able to survive that, to hold on to the ball getting hit like that.
Well, you also there's a lot that goes into that.
I mean, you've seen it happen to everybody, right? We've seen it happen to the greatest in the game.
For sure.
Peyton
and I'm not
Manning,
saying that
Brett
couldn't have
Favre,
happened
all
to
those
anybody
guys.
else.
Yeah.
I'm saying I laughed inside. I trust Kirby to a very high point of you're just going to have guys ready.
Yep.
But as I was listening to you and a slew of other Georgia fans tell me, oh, well, Gunnar, you know what? Gunner's actually going to be better than Carson Beck. Then why the hell hadn't he played all year?
Mm-hmm.
Because the guy that watches him every single week never for 1 second blinked on that. That means he's not.
It wasn't that he was better than Carson Beck. It was that he's not Carson Beck. Because we had seen Carson Beck's not going to be able to win you anything. He's not going to be the high-level quarterback that wins you something. He just didn't have that in him.
No.
You had the hope that maybe Gunnar did.
If he did, he would have been on the field.
And there's a chance.
There's a reason that we all say that the most popular guy on every campus with every NFL team is the backup quarterback. The backup's backup for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as for the rest of the SEC, I will be interested to hear your explanation on this.
Well, Tennessee, you went up against Ohio State and got matered.
Yep, so did the number one team in the country.
Did not look good. Yeah, but we didn't know that at the time.
We do now.
We do now. And then it's the victory lap that everybody is taking right now on the SEC that also factors into this to me. Because it's put the SEC fans on the defensive of, oh, we are still the best, which I still think they are. I still think that's the best conference out there.
I think the Big Ten is now deeper than you.
Could be.
The Big Ten has very deep pockets. If you look at the list of, in terms of NIL, you know what this year's done? It's made the SEC look around and go, oh yeah, we got to dig a little deeper because $15 million ain't going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
We got to get into that 25-ish million, and I actually think it's more than that, just to be clear. I'm not a mathematician, but I know specifically what some of these guys make. If you have 5 guys making $1.5 million, and I know that definitively, I find it really hard to believe that your roster is only at $22 million. Mm-hmm. Ohio State, I'm looking directly at you.
Right.
Okay, some of these have leaked out because you're still paying college kids, so it's not real hard if you have even just a modicum of sources to go, hey, what's that kid making? When you hear it the same number for about the 8th time, that's probably what that number is.
Yeah.
Or he's doing a real good job of lying to people and telling them that.
Everybody thinks that this is a turning point, it seems like.
It is.
The majority of fans feel like this is a turning point. Is this the turning point where the Big Ten has passed the SEC, left them in the dust?
No, but it is a turning point. Because all of the rest of you, at this point, if you're a fan of a team that's not in the SEC or the Big Ten, or now Notre Dame, which is basically a de facto Big Ten school, you are so damn irrelevant that you may never be discussed on this show again. Outside of gambling picks.
And prospects. And draft prospects.
And even that is going to dry up. It's going to dry up because you're going to get to a point where guys that are freshmen that had a role at Clemson or at Florida State or something like that, they want to play in these biggest games,
mm-hmm.
and they know that I'm going to be able to do that in the SEC and the Big Ten and nowhere else. The ACC, your biggest game this year was an ACC title game against SMU.
But wait, I thought they were a big player now.
Yeah, sorry, as evaluators, we are looking at that differently. They are a player in the ACC. They wouldn't be a player in the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't be a player in the SEC. That's all a part of your surroundings. The ACC is awful. Horrifically awful at that.
Mm-hmm.
The Big 12, you had one team that was competitive for – I was telling all of you this game is not over for several quarters because I kept watching Arizona State going, I don't know what you're seeing that the Texas is pounding them. They scored 2 touchdowns in 45 seconds. Other than that, they haven't been able to move the ball. And by the way, Texas
T's and P's.
T's and P's. Because you're not just going to get your butt kicked. You're going to get your butt kicked right outside of your own stadium.
Yeah, you're not going to
Because you're going 45 minutes down the road to get hammered.
Mm-hmm. You're not going to like it. I guarantee it.
I thought you were going to say something about South Carolina losing in a bowl game, Alabama losing in a bowl game.
I mean, all of that doesn't look good, but it doesn't matter to me.
Who cares?
I mean, that's another cheap thing that, haters will use. I hate using that term, but the same thing happened to Florida State last year. Florida State misses out on the playoff, gets hosed out of the playoff. And then what happened? Nobody played in the bowl game, and they got rolled by Georgia 63-3. Nobody cares.
The bowl games are dead.
Right, the fact that
outside of the Pop-Tart Bowl, I will say, Pop-Tart, you're doing stuff.
Yeah. Well, I've said this for years about teams that go in and lay down in a bowl game. Well, it doesn't really shock me when, one team had their eye on the playoff and then goes into the Gator Bowl and doesn't give it their all. Shocker of shockers, because I got a plan for next year. I got a plan for my jump to the NFL. I got a plan for being healthy for next year so this team doesn't end up at a Gator Bowl again. It doesn't shock me when big teams like that lay down.
I'll go a step further.
Mm-hmm.
You know what every AD, the schools that have GMs, head coach in America, you know what they're all doing right now? They're going to their boosters. They're going to their piggy banks. They're going to their pocketbooks and going, the team that spent the most money is without a doubt the most impressive and probably getting ready to win a national title. They also took the toughest route to get here because they beat the number one team in the country. I will argue Ohio State does not have a team left to beat that is better than the team that they just beat the bejesus out of in the Rose Bowl. All of these guys are looking at their boosters, and the guys that draw the purse strings, I need more money. You want a national title? That number has changed. I told you it was 15 to 20 million a year ago. That's already gone up to 30. 2 years from now, it'll be 50. 5 years from now, it'll be 100. And I know there are at least some of you going, oh, he's overreacting again. Oh, Please point to me where I've been wrong on this one time in 5 years. I cannot wait to hear it. Because you're either making it up or you heard me wrong. Because I haven't been wrong yet. Ohio State paid this team. I keep seeing a $22.8 million number. That's a lie. That's what a lie sounds like. Because you didn't blink at paying Cam Ward $5 million. The administration did because you'd already spent too much money.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't blink at 22.8. I can promise you that.
We'll never know. It's all above board, right?
No.
I
The
think
NCAA, if you don't get involved now, and I mean right now, I'm talking January 22nd, you don't get involved with some form of legislation that puts a salary cap on all this, you're not going to like where this goes. Because I see the death of your sport in the offing. Not in terms of college football. College football will always survive because it's a filter system to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
The death of the Big 12, the death of the ACC, and the grim, gruesome death of the Power 5. If you're not careful, they're all dead in 2 years. All of them. And any of them that could survive will be in the SEC, they'll be in the Big Ten, and they will leave all your little wayward children to fend for themselves.
Why? Because they won't have any more television viewership? Because they won't have any revenue?
At this point, name me the ACC matchup that sends you. Oh, I've got to appointment television watch. What exactly?
Oh, well, I don't have a great example of
It's
that.
because there's not one. Because, see, here's the thing. Your appointment television's going up against LSU, Alabama, and Penn State, Notre Dame, and no, sorry, dog, you're going to lose these every single time.
Absolutely.
Especially now that Penn State's come in here. Now, you beat the regular season champion from the ACC. And then you beat Boise State, who I would argue shouldn't have been here anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but they had the running back who was so good. Yeah, that's why I didn't get my Heisman vote either.
Yep. Then the next one on my list here, I'm just going to throw it out here right before the break because we've already talked a lot of college football here, but I feel like the committee, I'm not saying they got it wrong. I'm saying they have a prime example right now of how to get this right. Right, we've been through the first year.
No, you've seen
you have a
huge
chance.
Problem.
Yes, you have a chance to fix this. However it needs to happen.
Oh, it's not hard. I mean, I'll fix it for you in 15 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Seating is
Reseed
done.
it.
Seating is done by the playoff rankings on the whole. I will admit 4 conference champions who do not get buys, and that is it.
Mm-hmm.
That 5th conference champion, to hell with you. I don't need you. I don't want you. And if you don't like it, go play in your own sandbox.
Absolutely.
Go raise the money to fight me because I'm going to squish you like a bug.
Go run the FCS.
And if you, oh, and by the way, you remember that thing I told you about television ratings?
Yeah.
Did you check them? Because I did. SMU Penn State, disaster.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute disaster.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody watching it. I think it was doing $2.2 million from the 4th quarter on. What does that tell you? Bet you we don't do that again.
Yeah.
Bet you Allstate and Dr. Pepper didn't love that.
There have to be tweaks here, and you have the opportunity. The problem is, or the question is, will you be able to capitalize on this? Will you take the evidence that's right in front of your face and realize that the changes need to be made?
Well, there's no doubt that now you have the empirical evidence that you need. You know, for all the ADs to come together and go, look, you know, Big 12, ACC, Mountain West, you don't deserve a seat at this table. And until you give us a reason to think that you do, you know, your cute little rebranded Pac-12 doesn't mean squat to us. You earn your way in, we'll give you a spot in.
Mm-hmm.
Because the 4 highest conference champions should be in. It's hard for me to say that because I don't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
All 12 best teams, I don't care where they play. Winning some mediocre division, it's like your Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
You won the most god-awful division I've ever seen, and we're rewarding you for that. That doesn't make any sense to me. Meanwhile, you got a Green Bay team that won more games than you, playing a tougher schedule than you, and we punish them. That doesn't make any sense. You can't make it make any sense.
No. A win is not a win, or all wins are not equal to other wins.
No. Penn State's 2 wins over SMU and Boise State are not nearly as impressive as what I saw from Notre Dame beating Indiana and Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, it's just not.
Nowhere close to Ohio State beating Tennessee and Texas.
Yeah, I mean, and so now I look at this and go, this really feels to me like you're on a collision course for Notre Dame, Ohio State in the national title game.
Mm-hmm.
And you can assume how I think that would go.
Yep. Could be another lopsided game.
I won't go
It'll
65
take eyeballs
to 7,
away.
But I don't think we'll be debating it much in the 4th quarter.
No, I don't either. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. So those of you keeping score at home, which I hope you don't, because that's ridiculous for you to keep score during the daily draft. But
Although
that is
should.
that is a CFP neutral in the stock up, stock down from the holiday.
Did you just make up a rule?
I did. I made up a rule. I went neutral because they have a chance to let us down. They have a chance to do the right thing. I just can't tell you which way they're going to go at this point.
You are the guy that would pull in neutral.
No doubt.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you or a loved one have been a victim of crime, the North Carolina Department of Public Safety Office of Victim Compensation Services provides programs to help you find peace of mind. We're here to help you apply for benefits that you may qualify for to recover from hardships such as lost wages and medical expenses. To learn more, visit ncdps.gov/4victims. That's ncdps.gov/4VICTIMS.
Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs? You bet we are. Kevin Hart here for DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the playoffs, and you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score 6. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WPEK. That's code WPEK for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5.
Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
It's time to discover the convenience and time savings of contact-free pickup with Ingles Curbside. Just visit shop.ingles-markets.com or download the app. And your Ingles personal shopper gets to work with specialized training on how to select the freshest items for a pre-scheduled pickup. They'll even text you with updates. You pull up to a designated space and your personal shopper delivers your items right to your vehicle. Fresh, fast, and affordable. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks community heroes, like Eric, who hosted the football team to support their neighbors and begin the cleanup efforts, like Jeff and Chris, who led a fleet of Ford commercial vehicles throughout the night, delivering supplies with emergency services to all corners of the county and first responders. Nominate your community hero at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
When you get tired of freezing your can at the tailgate, maybe it's time to ring in a new season. Tailgating season. Wherever you are, whatever the forecast, with good old ale, it's the perfect way to kick off game day. From Red Cup revelry to just kicking it solo, you can't go wrong with Dale's Pale Ale, Dale's Light Lager, and Dale's Easy IPA. Honest ingredients, no BS. Drink responsibly, and we'll see you at the Tailgate.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
We're back in the Sportsocracy inside the Ingles studio on ESPN Asheville, and the Daily Draft brought to you by Dale's Pale Ale. Your second choice of the stock up, stock down from the holiday break, Jeremy, goes to who?
This one's going to be a little strange.
Okay.
Los Angeles Chargers. Stock up.
All right.
Between who they play in the first round and the way they look. Because, don't look, Quentin Johnston's actually been pretty good. Now, he was a fun little punching bag, but between him and Ladd McConkey, that team does not look like a lot of fun to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
If you told me that a team was able to disrupt what we think is the easy top 3 in the AFC, I'll say it's the Los Angeles Chargers. I give the Steelers and the Broncos less than 0 chance.
Okay.
The Chargers have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
And they drew Houston, which is without a doubt the one I wanted.
Yes. You didn't want to face any of the other three.
No. I think the Chargers will win in the first round.
Okay.
I think everything stays the same. You'll get Baltimore, Buffalo in the second, or in the divisional round.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna lie. I'm not making a prediction at this point.
He's saying
there's a chance that the Chargers could knock off the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I doubt it, but you never know. The Chiefs have looked fallible, and I don't know, maybe it's too much rest for Patrick Mahomes. Maybe that turns into being his Achilles heel. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that leads.
He gets almost a month off.
I'm glad you said that way. Stock down bye weeks. Yikes. We had 4 teams with byes in the college football playoff. All 4 of them went home immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. 2 of them were far inferior to the team they were playing. Arizona State and Boise State, you didn't really have a shot. Georgia did.
Mm-hmm.
Oregon did. And they both looked like they sleptwalked.
I mean, Georgia's at least got one big excuse that you could, if you were given excuses, you could lean on, well, we had a brand new quarterback. I mean,
yeah, you were awful excited about that quarterback just 2 weeks ago.
Sure. I could give you a break for that. I don't know how to come up with an excuse for Oregon. You acted like you didn't even belong there. Like you didn't even know that the game was happening today.
Yeah, Oregon has become like the great Sasquatch to me. I get it. I've had 1,000 of you tell me, I saw a Sam Squatch. Did you get a picture of it?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, you know what? My phone was in my keister, and I couldn't get it out at the time. Of course you could.
I mean, remember what Florida State did to them? Wasn't it Florida State that just rolled them in the playoff?
Oregon rolled Florida State. That was the Mariota Jameis Winston year. And Oregon beat them to death. Still one of the longest nights of my life. That was in the Rose Bowl.
Oh, so that was 2014?
2015 was the year, but yes.
Okay, yeah. Because they won the next year. 2015, you won the national championship.
No, they have that backwards. We won it and then got rolled.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, all right. I thought that went the other way around. Why do I have it stuck in my mind that they got embarrassed? Did they get embarrassed after they embarrassed Florida State?
No, they lost, but they didn't get embarrassed.
Okay, all right. Maybe I had that wrong. All right, so stock down for bye weeks. My mind wanted to go there, but I couldn't get on that bandwagon. You got to be ready to play.
I had that right. Florida State won the national title in the 2013 season, the year of 2024.
Gotcha.
In the 2014 season, on New Year's Day of 2015, they got rolled by Oregon in the Rose Bowl.
Gotcha. Okay. Anyway, what was I getting ready to say?
Don't know.
You sidetracked me, and now I forgot. Now I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, the bye weeks. I was going to go down that path of, okay, maybe there's something to this whole extra week of rest. How many weeks did we used to have between the championship games and the 4-team playoff?
It's also a different generation.
It was several, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's also a completely different generation of guys. Are you talking about an 18-year-old now and an 18-year-old 20 years ago when you're talking about?
I'm talking about last year.
Yeah.
You had several weeks off.
3.
Right. So don't tell me that you had 2 weeks off and that ruined it? And that ruined your chances?
I don't think it helps. I really don't. And you've got so many distractions with the transfer portal and things like that. I don't. Mm-hmm. I hate this schedule, and if the NCAA doesn't do something about it, it's going to end very, very badly.
But then nobody had, I don't think anybody had a bigger problem with the transfer portal than Penn State did, right? Losing their backup quarterback and all of that.
Doesn't matter
if that was going to be. I was going to say, if that was going to be a distraction, then that should have been a distraction.
Yeah, doesn't matter if your starter's up. Let's see one of those walk-on freshmen have to get into a game, then we'll talk.
Right.
That hadn't happened yet.
I'm just not buying the distraction or the extra rest time or maybe the teams that went in, they were still on a hot streak. They were in a groove. I get that more in every other sport than football. You get an extra week off, which means you should have had time to plan. It's hard for me to go down that path.
Stephen Tao asked what kind of Temu Sunkist I was drinking. It is a zero sugar Sunkist.
Temu Sunkist. It is. Oh, in the white can.
It is delicious.
Yes, the zero sugar.
I don't like sugar sodas at this point. If it's got sugar in it, it's too sweet.
It is. You stop drinking those for a while, and it becomes unbearable when you have one of the fully loaded sodas.
I got a cane sugar Coke over the break. Holy good Lord.
That'll turn your mouth inside out, won't it?
Yeah.
All right, so you're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Take another break. Daily Draft will continue after this.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Getting into the showers this afternoon of rain as temperatures get into the mid-40s with a wind advisory now in place for gusty winds that'll start to pick up 30-plus miles per hour. Most of the rainfall, though, is going to be ending. Tonight, there is a chance of snow showers with the colder air filtering in. Windy and cold, 19 degrees. Wind chills will be easily in the single digits. Tuesday, partly to mostly sunny, windy and cold, especially early, high 35. Wednesday, sunny, 35. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
The music we listen to all year long. The anthems that were our soundtrack for 2024.
They not like us.
And the stars who made the songs we love will all be celebrated.
Let's get it started.
March 17, live from Los Angeles. Coming back to Fox.
Be here as our 2025 iHeartRadio Music Awards nominees are announced Thursday at 9 a.m.
Sweetie, come here. Don't worry. I see a lot of patients with the exact same thing.
Ever since the ice skating rink went in next door,
Or is it more than
Dr. Clark's business is heating up.
So many patients need my help. How will I find time to see all of them?
They need to hire a scheduler, stat.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
We're starting 2025 with insanely clean carpets from Zero Res. Call to get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $119. And when you mention ESPN Asheville, you'll get a hallway clean for free. Schedule online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
Watching Clorox cleanup spray dissolve tough grime in the shower feels like...
Wait, this really just happened? I'm shocked. Underwear and everything?
It feels like being able to zip up your overpacked suitcase on the first try.
Smooth.
With Clorox, clean feels satisfying. Clean feels good. Use as directed.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. Need to whip up a dessert, entree, side dish? No problem. The experts from the Ingalls Table take you through it step by step, with expert tips and advice along the way. Find the Ingalls Table at ingles-markets.com or swing by the store and pick up your free copy of the Ingalls Table magazine. And let's get cooking. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. Our purpose, to improve lives with every interaction. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Like Daniel, a veteran who accompanied law enforcement and other veterans to perform search and rescue operations. Like Spencer, who helped build a bridge out of debris to rescue 7 families after the road was washed away. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
What are you people? On dope?
We are back in the Ingalls studio on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. It was a long holiday break, so it's got to be a long daily draft today. Brought to you by Dale's Pale Ale. Stock up, stock down from the holiday break. Jeremy started out with Ohio State. Stock up. Obviously, they went from being I don't know if you're going to make it out of the first round to, oh, God, if anybody else wins this, I'll be shocked.
Yes, please stop killing people on my television. It is gross and gratuitous.
Stock down from me for the SEC, and then the neutral for the college football playoff because they haven't chosen yet. They've got a chance. Ball's in your court, college football playoff committee. Change things. You went stock up for the Los Angeles Chargers, stock down for bye weeks because everybody who got a bye in the college football playoff lost.
Everybody that got a bye went bye. Bye-bye.
All right, my next selection, I am going to go recent news today, stock down for the Jacksonville Jaguars for not firing Trent Baalke because, come on, man. At some point you have to realize you're not building anything with that guy, choosing the talent. They've had one draft pick that has panned out so far, and he's only been in the league for an hour.
Well, that and you went into this class saying definitively you had to get a receiver, and you took the last one. You just got lucky that he was practically as good as the rest of them.
Mm-hmm. And then I'm going stock up for the New England Patriots. Stock up for Robert Kraft for making the call on Gerard Mayo. I think
that was the right call.
I always have a problem with guys not getting enough time, right? You bring in a new coach. He's only been there for a year, 2 years, hasn't really had a chance to win or build his own system, whatever. But is the unknown of Gerard Mayo and what he could be, is that promise worth something of wasting the next 5 years trying to figure out whether or not he's your guy? I feel like Robert Kraft is smart enough there's a plan here. I'm pretty sure it's Mike Vrabel. I've heard so many people say that's where this is going to go. And I can't say that he's wrong. Because I don't know that Gerard Mayo's going to be good. And there have been several times this year where he has just looked out of his element.
Well, he was terrible with the media.
Precisely.
Absolutely terrible.
He looks like he doesn't belong in that position. Good assistant, he could do DC interviews. But as my head coach, I want more stability. I don't want wishy-washy in front of the media. I want a guy who knows where he's going. And if he doesn't know where he's going, you do the Bill Belichick thing. You should have learned something, right? We're on to Cincinnati. If you don't know what the answer is, don't give a bad one.
Andreas Pinckney said Gerard Mayo was the okay girl you text back until the hot girl you really like calls you back.
Yeah.
Well, hello, Mike Vrabel.
Yeah. To show my loyalty, I'm going to make you the head coach. And if it goes well, it goes well. But there's got to be a better solution.
I am not trying to poo-poo on the Mike Vrabel to New England thing. I will tell you what a little birdie told me.
Mm-hmm.
There is a great possibility that New England wants Mike Vrabel way more than Mike Vrabel wants New England.
Really?
Just something a little birdie told me. He may still end up there, but it's what I was told is if the Raiders were to come open, he would find the Raiders more attractive than he would find New England.
Really? I would love to know based on what.
Location.
He thinks
people get lost in the fact of, I played there means I want to coach there. Think about the number of guys that have played in this league that wound up being coaches. Now think about how many of them actually wound up where they played.
Mm-hmm.
D'Amico Ryans.
Mm-hmm.
And then go back a long way. Herm Edwards was a New York legend.
True.
For all the wrong reasons. But he played for the Eagles, not the Jets.
Oh, that's right.
His greatest play happened in the Meadowlands
against
the New York Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Not for them.
It makes sense in our heads as fans, right? Mike Vrabel spent 50 years playing in New England. Nobody bleeds Patriot blue like he does. So, of course, it's going to make sense in your head that that's where he needs to be.
And I'll go ahead and tell you one that's happening on the market right now. I have it on good authority. Aaron Glenn will interview with the New York Jets. Mm-hmm. He has virtually no interest in that job.
I don't blame him.
He would rather have the Saints job.
Yeah. Well, he's familiar with them, too, because he coached there.
He did coach there, yes.
So he knows the ownership group. He knows I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we constantly talk about them as a dumpster fire franchise. Well, there's a reason for that. Just because I played there doesn't necessarily mean that's the best thing for my career to go there. Mike Vrabel makes all the sense in the world in my head. Well, maybe he doesn't want it. You don't want to be the guy that follows the guy. But do you want to be the guy that follows the guy that's only a year away? Right? It's only been a year since Bill Belichick was there. Do you think that the next head coach of the New England Patriots is going to have any less eyeballs on him because of that? Because there was a buffer in between for a year? No.
Gigi asked, wasn't Antonio Pierce a Raider? No, he wasn't.
No, he was a Giant.
He was a Giant and a Washington nickname omitted.
He's next, right? He's getting fired.
He, according to the report today, has not been told anything other than to expect to be back in 2025.
Wow. This is going to be another one of those, we're going to sign off, and they're going to make the lunchtime decision out on the West Coast and 12:30 today, or at 12:30 Pacific time, 3:30 our time, they'll make the call.
Possibly. I always said I don't think you're going to have as many openings this year as everybody else seems to think because the market's so bad. There's only one Ben Johnson. From there, it gets a little bleak, and I'm not even positive Ben's taking a job. He may stay in Detroit. He's not upset to do that. By the way, can we in 10 seconds address the several teams are interested in trading for Kevin O'Connell?
What was that?
Jay Glazer put that out yesterday. Okay. Well, several people were interested in a six-way with the Spice Girls. It doesn't mean that they were interested in you, Bill.
What are you going to give up? What are you going to give up for Kevin O'Connell? He's on the market.
Oh, I thought you meant for that other thing.
It'd be a lot.
There was a time it was my right arm. Cut it off. It's fine.
The dominant one. You're not ambidextrial.
No, I can do enough with my left hand. Ain't nothing really matters. Like I can't write with it. I can't throw with it. I can drive a car with my left hand.
Kind of a point. All right, next up for you in the daily draft.
Oh, it's my selection.
Yeah.
I'm taking stock up LA Rams. I thought this was a spunky little team, and I was very cautious to not throw dirt on them. About the time I did throw dirt on them is when they went, nope, we're going to become everything you said we would be. I like that roster. I like where it's headed. I think they're really coached well. And I feel like they're healthy. And them against Minnesota, that feels like a game that everybody's just going to assume Minnesota's going to run through them. I'm not so sure of that.
Okay. Stock up for the LA Rams.
By the way, the Rams are also, if you ever want to play Week 18 DFS, they're a real fun team to stock up on because they always have like 6 skill position guys that you've probably never heard of. Jordan Whittington, the guy that I told you to, for pretty much that very purpose. He had a day yesterday. What do you have, 170 all-purpose yards or something?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because he's kick returner, too.
Mm-hmm.
Good times. Stock down New York Giants. You are the dumbest franchise in the history of time. Mara family, when you saw Drew Lock doing that Tom Brady turn, you should have made a call. Look, either you take him out or we got a sniper on the roof that's going to take him out. We're not trading for a quarterback, but you made us. Congratulations. You won a completely meaningless game against the Colts. as a fan of a team that's done that no less than 8 times, you'll forget who that win was over within 6 months. You will not forget what you had to give up to go get Shedeur Sanders.
Yes. Meaningless win. All right, stock up for the Philadelphia Eagles. This stock up is actually for Nick Sirianni. I'm going to say something good about him for once because he did that thing that Jeremy told me he didn't feel confident that he could do, which is let the record go and sit Saquon Barkley.
I was shocked he did.
You and I had that discussion while we were down in Atlanta, and I thought there's no shot. You almost had me convinced that Nick Sirianni was going to be that dumb and start Saquon Barkley in a meaningless game against the Giants to try to get 101 yards to set a record that had been set in one fewer game by Eric Dickerson. Juice ain't worth the squeeze, and I give him credit for not doing it.
Now, do you denigrate him for running Saquon 31 times in a game they won 41-7 with a backup quarterback?
Yes, I do.
You should.
Yes, I do.
See, that's why, to me, that's a stock neutral because you were still a dum-dum. As soon as that second touchdown was scored, okay, I think Kenny Gainwell can handle the heavy lifting here.
Right. Time to pull him out. And then I'm going to go stock up for the Todd Bowles and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Liam Cohen. Final play of the regular season, you take care of your guys, and they took care of Mike yesterday. They got him his 1,000 yards. They got him his bonus. His name is now in the history books right alongside Jerry Rice. Some would say that it was meaningless, but it wasn't meaningless to the fan base.
I'm one of those.
It wasn't meaningless to Mike. It wasn't meaningless to his teammates. It wasn't meaningless to the fan base.
It wouldn't have been meaningless either if that had been a pick six. It would have led to, without a doubt, the funniest Nelson Muntz ha-ha moment of all time.
But it wasn't going to
happen. My final one's a stock down for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You are exactly what we thought you were.
Mm-hmm.
I have a funny feeling your trip into the playoffs is not going to last a real long time.
What are we going to do without Monday Night Football tonight?
What am I going to do?
Yeah.
Well, that's when the day becomes night and the Dayquil becomes NyQuil.
He's chugging half a bottle when he gets home.
Well, I've already done a half a bottle of Dayquil, which reminds me it's about time to
dear.
That bad boy again.
Dear. That sucks having to spend part of your vacation sick. It's almost as bad as it's almost as bad and probably easier to handle than what Eddie and Amanda had to go through for the whole 2 weeks they've been gone. Their daughter's been sick. Ellie's been sick and just miserable. The look on Eddie's face this morning was so priceless because he was so happy to be here. I have never seen him happier to be here rather than to be mired in what they've been putting up with over the holiday. So I feel for you, man. I really do.
I was good. I think I caught something maybe in Atlanta. I'm not sure. We were outside for a long period of time. It was very cold. So, I don't know. I mean, I'll be fine in a couple days.
Yep.
It wiped me out over this past weekend.
Mm-hmm. Coming up on tomorrow's program, Power Rankings Tuesday, as always, the season finale of the regular season finale of the Power Rankings.
And that seeds to Wednesday. And Wednesday is a very special day. It's a day that we will duplicate numerous times in the next 117 days.
Oh, dear.
It's Mock Draft Wednesday.
Oh, let's
go. Let's get it's time. It's time. Pouring over this. It's time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Gonna be a mock draft. Mock draft.
The draft, or the top of the NFL draft order is now set.
Yeah. Nobody wanted it. New England, nope.
Mm-mm.
New York Giants,
nope. Tennessee Titans have the number 1 pick. followed by the Cleveland Browns, then the Giants, then the Patriots. Jacksonville's at 5, and then Vegas at 6. Vegas is one that I'm watching going, they could make the trade to move up with Tennessee get that pick.
They could.
So mock draft mania will begin. The draft season in full effect here in the Sportsocracy.
So Red Sea has a really good question, and I'm so glad you asked it. So Michaela, that was here earlier, we will now affectionately refer to her as intern Michaela. She's fixing all of the social media things because Tank and I are social media stupid because we're middle-aged men and we don't know how to do Instagram. He asked, is there a fan mock draft coming soon? Yes, we will do a handful of those. I have an announcement, I'll say tomorrow. We could probably make it happen tomorrow. There is a way for you to get involved in our travels, and we're doing a new thing. We touched on this briefly before we left, but not
in
deep
depth.
diving.
Yes, not in depth. All right, we'll look forward to that tomorrow during a Power Rankings Tuesday.
Tank's like, I can't wait to find out what it is either.
I can't wait. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. Of course, we're heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Be sure to follow us on all the social medias at the Sportsocracy.
Did you apply for FEMA help after the tropical storm Helene and want to know the status of your application or how to appeal an eligibility decision? It's easy to reach FEMA. Call 800-621-FEMA. Does FEMA have your current contact information? If you are not sure, call 800-621-3362 because FEMA may need more information to help you. For in-person help, you can find the Disaster Recovery Center near you at fema.gov/DRC.
Watching Clorox cleanup spray dissolve tough grime in the shower feels like...
Wait, this really just happened? I'm shocked. Underwear and everything?
It feels like being able to zip up your overpacked suitcase on the first try.
Smooth.
With Clorox, clean feels satisfying. Clean feels good. Use as directed.
I'm at a smoothie bar asking people if they'd switch smoothies with me for $574.
Oh, I'll switch.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
That's a headache.
Nope, it's painless.
Oh, so it's easy money.
Yep, check Allstate first and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check you have a full tank of gas first before road tripping through the desert.
Empty? Seriously? Maybe I can walk.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Maybe I can't.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need with high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com. That's mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com for your local one-stop custom apparel shops.
It's time to discover the convenience and time savings of contact-free pickup with Ingles Curbside. Just visit shop.ingles-markets.com or download the app. And your Ingles personal shopper gets to work with specialized training on how to select the freshest items for a pre-scheduled pickup. They'll even text you with updates. You pull up to a designated space and your personal shopper delivers your items right to your vehicle. Fresh, fast, and affordable. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Getting into the showers this afternoon of rain as temperatures get into the mid-40s with a wind advisory now in place for gusty winds that'll start to pick up 30-plus miles per hour. Most of the rainfall, though, is going to be ending. Tonight, there is a chance of snow showers with the colder air filtering in. Windy and cold, 19 degrees. Wind chills will be easily in the single digits. Tuesday, partly to mostly sunny, windy and cold, especially early, high 35. Wednesday, sunny, 35. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off, free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Here's to 2025.
Have a great year.
As we pick up right where we left 2024. Keeping you informed.
This is going to be a long, long night for everybody. We're going to be there with you through all of this.
This is an apocalyptic storm.
More than the 1916 flood.
A new year is always a news year.
This isn't one of those that might happen. It's happened.
New journeys, new chapter, something new each few days.
In the new year.
News Radio 570 WWNC.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Here's the snap. Sanders up.